it's a biased committee. It's mostly liberals. It's mostly Democrats. And the point that I saw made that to me is the most common sense one, but none of the witnesses are.
Right.
None of them
Yeah.
are. They are people that not only worked in the administration, but were also trying to get another 4 years. They believed in what was going on, but this was the step too far, right? I mean, that's the way to look at it.
Yeah. So a couple of thoughts on this. McCarthy put forth a list of names, and Pelosi said no to Jim Jordan and no to, I think it was Matt Gaetz.
Makes sense.
And so McCarthy then decided that they were going to walk away from it. And I think that was a real mistake on his part because for a couple of reasons. One, I think if you had Republicans in there, the chances that they would be calling, because there's stuff that this committee has not looked at as it relates to January 6th. Like, why wasn't the police better prepared? Why didn't Nancy Pelosi engage with the additional support and National Guardsmen and so forth? Those are questions that ought to be asking this, and they're not doing that. So that would have been a benefit, I think. Also would have been a benefit for Kevin McCarthy to have members on that committee so that they would know what's coming. Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are not giving a heads up to the Republican caucus about what these hearings are going to produce, in real time. And so they're having to react to it just the same way as all of us are. That's a disadvantage, political disadvantage, that McCarthy surrendered by not filling the slots on that committee. And he says he's glad he did it. I think in his real deepest thoughts, he knows he made a mistake here.
Yeah, when you watch the video of January 6th, the videos of January 6th, going back to what you said, John, that the fact that no Congress people were killed, that the mob didn't get a hold of Mike Pence or Nancy Pelosi, as disastrous as it was on that day, that feeling, I mean, I feel it now, I feel it again when I watch those videos during the hearings of what could have happened. I mean, tragedy on a scale that's even exponentially worse than it already is. That blows my mind. And I know Congress has the power, or had the power, to do an accelerated impeachment within 24 hours of January 6th. I don't understand why they didn't do that because, time, eventually as time passes, emotions calm down, and Republicans are like, well, we got to keep power. We got to make sure that we smooth over this as much as possible. But in that moment, why Congress didn't take more action to impeach Trump for dereliction of duty alone. Forget the fact that he incited this with his own language, just abject dereliction of duty as the commander-in-chief. That should have taken place on January 7th.
Well, of course, but we don't have many that have profiles and courage behind them like we're seeing Liz Cheney. And, one of the compelling things for me last night was the replaying of Mitch McConnell and Leader McCarthy's statements on January the 7th. They placed the blame squarely on Donald Trump's lap. And now 7 months later, I don't think that that's the narrative you're hearing from these folks. The other thing we keep talking about this in a past tense, that this what happened on January the 6th. I think this committee also laid out last night, this is still going on. We still have people who believe that this election was stolen, including the former president, who as early as this week was still making calls on this stuff. And now we're out trying to play in primaries and rig the system so that they can do this again. What I took away last night is not only the sadness of what has been, but the fear of what still can be.
That's a really good point. I mean, and I know there are a lot of hows, right? Like the question, how does this happen? How do so many people believe something that hasn't been backed up, right? And not backed up, again, by people who had an interest in it being true, right? Like people that worked for the president's legal team, like people that worked on the campaign, people that worked in that. They were all saying, there's nothing here. All but like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that we're not hearing from, of course, because they know that there's some problem there. So how do you move forward?
I don't know that we can. I was thinking about this last night. I mean, I don't know how any human being can watch what we saw last night and not have just a shadow of a doubt in Donald Trump. And that this man is bad, that he was trying to overthrow our country. But look at the rallies. Look what's going on. Watch the media that's happening out there. I don't know how we ever get through to these people. I think the only way we're ever going to get through to them for them to understand that what they did was wrong is if this were to happen from a Democratic perspective, and it should never, ever, ever happen again. But could you imagine if the unions and Black Lives Matter and other groups wound up storming the Capitol? If Joe Biden winds up losing re-election, do you think people would be saying it's no big deal? There's nothing to worry about. This can never happen again.
Well, the thing though, and I don't know what the numbers are, but maybe 20% of the country watched that last night. If, 4 out of 5 Americans, just like the dentist with the Dentyne gum, 4 out of 5 Americans didn't see it last night. And a whole bunch of that universe just is completely disinterested. So, if the hope for these hearings was to somehow develop a consensus in the country about the fact that the election wasn't stolen, they're not going to achieve that.
Yeah, and I know Josh Hawley has been talked about a lot after the video last night.
Running Man.
I know, and I think I'm in the minority here. I wasn't amused by it. I'm not surprised by it. I just felt really sad because it just shows like what a mess we're in politically. And so I know the committee hearing, those who were there, who were present, broke out in laughter when they watched him run. I don't know why my initial reaction wasn't laughter. Because I know they put it to different songs on Twitter, and it just relatively went viral.
Well, you have to acknowledge the fact that you're a fellow runner. And so
he's just getting his miles in.
There's a certain kinship.
I don't know. It just was like so depressing to me.
And I felt it as a Missourian too. Yeah. That this is the face that we have in the United States Senate. And here's the other thing we all ought to be concerned as Missourians. This man's a pariah inside that building, even inside his own party. So we're only going to have one senator advocating for us because 99% of them up there in that building all think that Josh Hawley, rightfully so, is a clown.
He was on Tucker Carlson last night during the hearings.
Not surprising. Hancock and Kelly with us here on the show. We'll come back and talk a bit more about this. And, of course, we'll get an update from Scott McFarland later on.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing.
I don't have any cravings.
You want to quit, but have found it impossible. This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Only $49.99 guaranteed. Don't just cut down. Stop smoking. In addition, use hypnosis to lose all the weight and destroy unwanted cravings. Seminars Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 to 10 p.m. More info at markpatrickseminars.com.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
Scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Man, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or PE, experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. To help you last longer in the bedroom, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications with men lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. See results on first visit guaranteed or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Busey's community focus takes us to Edwardsville in July. I'm joined by Steve Grant, Vice President and Busey Area Manager for Edwardsville, and a Rotarian to talk about the Busey Bank Rotary Criterium Festival, a fun biking event coming this summer. Listen to our July podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
Nice back in on the show. Amy Mark scores. Kevin Wheeler with you here. Ron will be back on Monday. Hancock and Kelly hanging out. And by the way, you guys are twinsies today.
Yeah,
you guys
two-
have the exact same
Really,
outfit.
you all want to pick on us for the way we dress.
Yeah.
You show up like you're going to basketball practice
Yep.
every day.
Baseball, but yeah.
And Amy shows up looking like she's wearing her father's clothes 90% of the time.
I like a lot of
And
fabric.
John and I are both in blue jeans and white shirts.
Yeah.
And we look like the Step Brothers, they said, from
You
the movie
did.
Step Brothers.
Which one of you is Dragon? Which one's Nighthawk?
No. We're going to be waiters. We're going to be servers out there.
I didn't
I'm
say
ready.
it looked bad. I just said you look
I
the
said
same.
you look like you're going to Destin to do those matching pastel beach photos for Christmas.
That was funny. Now that was funny.
Now, granted, we're matching. We're both wearing
Kind
navy.
of. I mean, like dark blue. But
yeah, dark blue
yeah.
and white.
It's amazing how long we've been doing this here on KMOX, 15, 16 years now.
Yeah, 15.
And I bet a third of the time when we walk in, John and I will be wearing the same outfit. Like if he wore a pink shirt, I wore a pink
Well,
shirt.
I don't have very many
Yeah.
clothes. I just,
Yeah.
I'm a minimalist.
I'm with you there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very simple. Like a whole rotation of T-shirts. I think I have 2 pairs of jeans.
Yeah.
3 maybe. I
Yeah.
only wear 2 really.
I love
Yeah.
that. I've been going through that in my life. I've been going through my closets and just getting rid because you only wear the 6 or 7 same things all the time. Don't you guys find that? I mean, I literally have clothes in my closet that still has the tag on it.
I wear this
but I
pullover
feel guilty.
at least once or twice.
I've seen you in that.
Yeah,
pullover.
it's my favorite thing in the world. It's the
Yeah.
most comfortable thing in the world.
Yeah.
See, I'm a sweaty person, right?
Oh yeah.
So in the heat, just thinking about being outside, I start sweating.
Right.
Well, this covers that up. You don't see like the pit stains. You don't see like I get the big the sweat spot right on the chest, like right there on the sternum.
Ooh.
I don't know.
The old sternum sweat.
I do.
manly.
And then,
Yeah.
then it just expands from there.
probably-
So this keeps that from showing.
Right.
Now, you don't want your sternum sweat out there for all the world to see.
Well, I mean, just not at work.
Yeah, right.
It's all right. It's
Well-
all right when you're,
Cutting
hanging
the
out,
grass.
hanging out the clubs. or
That's not
whatever.
as bad as butt sweat, which is a real
Oh,
thing.
God.
When
Oh.
you go to like baseball games,
You're telling me?
Could have gone all day.
You're telling
without
me?
thinking about this.
Well,
we have a different term for it than butt sweat.
Yeah,
well, don't say that.
It's involving a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know that term. No, so here's what happened. I went to the baseball game. This was
I don't want to hear
pre-COVID.
this. I want to think that you don't sweat.
Oh, I'm
Can
so
I leave?
gross. So I go to the baseball game and I'm wearing khaki shorts, which is you should not wear khaki shorts to a baseball game
Why?
when it's hot out. Because I will just tell you this: I wore khaki shorts and then I stood up, let's say in the 4th inning, because we're gonna go get, I don't know, hot dogs. And the woman behind me, here's what I hear. Oh, honey.
Oh no!
Oh.
And it was bad. It was, and my friends were laughing hysterically, and I had to own it and walk around Busch Stadium. We're very just weird, gross sweat stains. So I'm pretty sure I threw those shorts away after the baseball
I gotta tell
game.
you, you're lucky you're lucky to be a lady because you ladies look out for each other.
Yeah.
If I saw that on a guy, I'd just be like, look,
Oh, no.
I'd be like nudging my buddy.
You're
I'd
right.
be like,
Check this out.
Yeah. Get a picture of
and
it.
then just let him walk around.
Yeah. Get a picture of it.
'Cause
Hey,
then-
get out there in front of us, Billy.
Because if I tell him, I'm now taking the amusement away from every other person that would have seen that.
That's
Right.
an excellent point.
Right, but it's not as for whatever reason, it's not as funny when it's ladies. It's funny when it's a dude.
Guys are ruthless to each other.
Oh
The
my
way
God,
that we
yeah.
show love and affection is we ruin each other.
Yes.
I had to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
long and hard to find who I was going to take to get my colonoscopy because my biggest fear. No, my biggest fear was coming out of that sedation and saying crazy stuff and having because your buddies would record you saying goofy stuff like I feel like
yeah.
I'm Tinkerbell
Yeah.
floating on Earth.
That wouldn't be the only thing I'd be worried about getting out there. Wow.
But did you guys know that they're now doing Botox to keep people from sweating?
What?
Oh, I did
That's
hear
a
about that. Yeah.
horrible idea. Sweating is detoxing.
No, so apparently there's some people who are heavy sweaters.
Yeah.
And they're going to get Botox into their bodies to keep
Ugh.
them from sweating in their
Is
armpits.
it unhealthy
etc.
if you don't sweat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is. But I mean, that's how you get
That's
out.
That's how you got to dispense your
toxins,
water
stay
and
cool.
stuff.
That's how you.
Well,
I mean, basically, that's how you cool down.
Yeah.
Why did you just point to your head?
No, I don't sweat.
Oh,
You
really?
do too sweat.
Hey, you've never seen me sweat.
Yeah, I have too. I've seen some of the clients you've had to work for. I'd be sweating all the doggone time.
I really don't sweat. You know, I mean, after a heavy workout, I'll sweat a little bit, but I mean, just a light.
What's a
you know,
heavy workout?
well, you know, when you're
walking the dog,
the treadmill and stuff.
Yeah.
John Hancock, when was the last time you were on a treadmill?
When I joined the fitness club.
And how many days in a row did you do that?
So I joined the fitness club. I went out there and
It sounds like a non-answer answer.
no, I'm getting there, Wheels. So I joined I go out there. It's Lifetime Fitness, amazing facility.
Amazing.
They've got the pool and they got the basketball. They got the coffee shop. You can get your hair cut over there. I mean, it was amazing. They're giving me the tour. You know, I said, how much? You know, I'm turning over a new leaf.
Yeah.
I said, how much is it? They tell me how much a month it is. I said, well, that's a lot. But you know what? I'm turning over a new leaf.
You got to be healthy.
I went
Sign me up
home
for 6 months.
I told Georgianne I've joined the fitness club and you can be my guest if you'd like to come. And I got up the next morning at 5:30.
Oh my!
Wow.
There's your first mistake.
I went to Lifetime Fitness. I got there by, I don't know, 5:45.
Mm-hmm.
Because I found you don't have to shower before you go to the fitness club.
Why would you?
That's a
Right.
perk.
Exactly. So I get on the treadmill and I'm walking. You know, and they got the televisions over there. I'm watching whatever's on at 6 o'clock in the morning and walking along. I did maybe, I don't know, 25 minutes on that sucker.
Ooh.
And
Sweating?
I was sweating.
Hey.
And then I went and I took a shower. These beautiful showers, little individual, you know, phenomenal. And I'm toweling off, you know, and the guy sitting next to me said, how long have you been a member? I said, you know, funny, I just joined. He said, well, I'll see you tomorrow. I said, all right. I never went back.
You know what? I bet that story's not unique.
No,
I bet a lot of people have had that situation.
One and done, baby.
How long did it take before you called them up and said, cancel my recurring charge?
It was a few months. I mean, because I thought, you know,
Yeah, I may get over there
tomorrow's another day.
Maybe next week, right?
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
Uh-huh.
So, what's the standard for you guys? Like, here's how it is with me and my friends. When we're
Okay.
talking about like helping each other out,
Yeah.
looking out for someone who maybe the barn door's open, maybe something
there.
weird's going on.
Yeah.
What's the threshold for you? Like, to me, the better I know them, the more I'm going to let them suffer. And the less that I know them, the more I'm going to help them out. Does that make sense? Or is that weird?
No.
Like if it's one of my best friends, I'm going to let him embarrass himself for a while because
Well,
it's
now
going to be an
that's
awesome
interesting.
story forever. And if it's a stranger, I might be more likely, hey, you might want to take care of that.
I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. My sister, I have 5 sisters. They've all multiplied and had kids. I'm the only one who hasn't.
You're talking like they're like gremlins.
Yeah, well, there you go. So I'm the only. So I'm the cool uncle, right? And everybody gets to come hang out with me. And so sometimes I'll have them come hang out for dinner with, you know, maybe with me and John Hancock or another friend of mine named Barney. And one of them went home and said to their mother, I don't think Uncle Mike and Barney like each other that much. And she goes, well, why is that? She said, they just kept ripping on each other the whole dinner. And I was like, you know, I love this person. I mean, but you do that, right?
It's
You
the
guys-
first sign that you're my friend is I'm always
Yeah.
picking on you.
Yeah. So do you do that as
Right,
females?
Amy?
Do you ever walk up to your girlfriend and say, oh, you chose that pink shirt today? What were you thinking?
I don't think as frequently.
No, not the same way.
But, you know, talking about
Yeah.
embarrassing, telling people stuff. So who was the gal that wrote the song for Charlie's Last Day? What was-
Aaron Bodie.
Aaron Bodie. So we're at the ball game. It's Charlie's last day. And there's Aaron Bodie. And I'm talking, and I said, man, that was just a phenomenal song you wrote. I said, I'm a musician myself. And we start talking music. My heel comes up. And he starts doing this. And I'm thinking,
I'm glad you're not on camera.
It's an upward motion with his hand.
Yeah, he's got an upward motion with his hand, and trying to have a conversation here, my hill, you know, and then he's giving me the waves sign.
Yep,
Well, my
yep.
fly was down the whole time I was talking.
It was a hot day.
Yeah, it was a very hot.
It was a hot day.
Yeah.
Sometimes
opening
you gotta do
event.
what you gotta do. Yeah.
So that was nice of my Hill to let me know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While you were talking to this young musical artist.
Debbie's my friend in that regard because I make a mistake when I get dressed, I don't know, 2 times out of 5. And so she'll lean over, after the news and go, "Oh, Amy, I think your shirt's on inside out." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And then I run to the bathroom.
That's such a nice way. I'd be like,
We would never tell
No,
one of
let
the
him do
other
it.
people.
Yeah, let him
Well,
eat
we
it.
tell them live on the air. Hey, you goofball.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Hancock and Kelly. We got Scott McFarland from CBS News next.
We know it's hot.
The heat. It's really hot. 100 degrees today, again.
But for how long?
Hopefully it cools off soon.
Stay up to date with this week's hot weather with KMOX meteorologist Dean DeVore in the morning.
Near 100 today, tomorrow. Thunderstorms late Sunday.
And Dave Murray in the afternoon.
Thursday, sunny, hot. Pure summer Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Summer weather forecasts. Plus the Air Comfort Heating and Cooling Storm Center when needed.
The sea wave could continue for almost 2 weeks.
Only on News Radio 1120. KMOX.
For more than 54 years, Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been one of St. Louis's top names in home improvement. They have a commitment to put quality and professionalism first in everything they do. This is Debbie Monterey, and it's probably been about a decade ago that Chesterfield Fence and Deck built a fence for me, an Eastern cedar fence that still looks fantastic because what Chesterfield Fence and Deck offers you is great value. Now, if you're spending money and you look for the cheapest price and somebody builds you something that falls apart the next season or starts splintering or warping, that's not a great value. At Chesterfield Fence and Deck, they want you to enjoy your outdoor living space, whether it is a deck or a fence, a patio, a pergola, a sunroom, a screen room. They're going to always use the highest quality products and the best workmanship, and they stand behind everything they do. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. Mention me, Debbie Monterey. They'll take 20% off your next outdoor project. Find them online or in the Chesterfield Valley, chesterfieldfence.com.
Call Zero Res today and ask for the DGS special. This month, Zero Res of STL is offering a 3-room special starting at just $119 and $75 off air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020.
The following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
At 10:30, we have a sunny sky, 86 degrees downtown of the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan. Here's what's happening. 53 Missouri counties are now under a drought alert after Governor Mike Parson signed an executive order just yesterday. The state will be suspending some regulations and providing farmers access to water and hay on conservation and parklands. This is the third significant drought in Missouri in the last 10 years. We're following a developing story out of Waterloo, Illinois, where a helicopter crashed into a field. It's near Mockingbird Lane. There's a good sign, though. Fox 2 says the pilot was up and walking after the crash. Twitter is reportedly reporting a quarterly loss as revenue slipped even as user numbers climbed. They lost $270 billion from April to June after revenue slipped 1%. Twitter blamed ad industry uncertainty during the Elon Musk takeover discussions. Earlier accidents seem to be cleaned up right now on Manchester. Looking now, stalled vehicle 64 past Hampton. Left lane is now closed. Should have that cleared up by the top of the hour. Stalled vehicle 70 westbound past 5th Street. The left shoulder is where the problem is right now. Your weather, well, you guessed it. It's going to be hot. That heat wave, no end in sight. High of 101 today, low of 82 tonight. Tomorrow, record is 108. The high, the record was 108 instead of 1934 for tomorrow. The high will be 104, so look out for that. Sunday, a high around 100. Right now, we have 86 degrees in Florissant and 87 degrees in St. Peter's with sunny skies. Also downtown to the Arch, 86 and sunny. I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
So we were trying to come up with a title for this podcast. Let's have a shorter name that's catchier, that kind of speaks to you. And my wife, Gretchen, says, what about Hey Maine? Hey Maine. Hey Maine. So I gave in, just like I gave in when she wanted a cat. But I get to keep my subtitle, The Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. So it's Hey Maine, The Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. Get that wherever you get your podcasts. I think that's the tagline.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Start your own Amazon business.
Hey everyone, Ryan and Karen Pottinger here.
Because of the wholesale formula, last year we ran our business while we traveled to and lived in 4 different countries.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula seminar, and I'm now doing $175,000 in sales per month.
Start your Amazon business. Join Dylan Frost at the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at wholesaleformula.com.
Albert Pujols comes to bat.
Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols talks with Tom Ackerman Mondays at 9:50.
He hits a fly ball left field, and it's gone!
Exclusively on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
All right, it's 10:33 on the show here on KMOX. Music was not chosen on purpose, but kind of apt for some of the things we saw with the January 6th committee hearings that were televised last night. Happy to have Scott McFarland on with us again from CBS News. He is obviously CBS News congressional correspondent. You'll find him on Twitter at McFarland News. Scott, thanks for doing this again. We really appreciate you. Some interesting stuff, and to me, the biggest bombshell were the kind of the stories we were hearing about Vice President Pence's Secret Service team and kind of how this all exploded on them on January 6th.
Yeah, the radio traffic involving the Secret Service detail of Vice President Pence was potentially the most visceral moment last night, and also pretty revealing. Things we hadn't heard, things we hadn't seen before. It gives you a sense of the near-death experience, not just for Vice President Pence, but for his Secret Service detail. And timing has always been a significant component of these hearings. When they build a timeline, the timeline was not at all sugar-coated last night. They said that Mike Pence escaped from the Senate chamber, which was at 2:25 p.m., almost coincided to the moment with the 2:24 p.m. tweet from former President Trump that Pence lacked courage, a tweet that the committee has argued fueled the fire, caused another surge in the crowd, and heightened the danger further for Pence and for the others in the Capitol that day, and really triggered some of the most vicious violence of January 6th that ended up with 5 deaths, 140-plus police officers injured, and at this moment, Kevin, 850 federal criminal defendants so far.
Wow.
What do you think of the balance right now in the hearings of focusing on what did happen, what could have happened, the people that could have gotten hurt, and what didn't happen as far as Trump's inaction? Because it's kind of a balancing act of showing here's what actually happened, here's what could have happened and why it's so dangerous, here's what didn't happen as far as prevention measures.
Yeah, I think all of those were epitomized. All 3 of those dynamics were epitomized by the threat to Vice President Pence. He could have been killed by a mob that was armed with makeshift weapons, some of whom actually had actual guns. A mob that got within 40 feet of him, a mob that was chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," a Secret Service detail that was worried that he'd been compromised, his safety had been compromised, and that all escape routes were suddenly gone. That's something that could have happened, but we know what didn't happen. There were no direct efforts, according to the committee, from the former president to call the military, to call federal law enforcement, to call the Department of Homeland Security, to call the Washington, D.C. mayor. He had innumerable tools at his fingertips. He just didn't employ them, according to the congressional committee. So that's what didn't happen. But here's the thing. They billed and promoted this hearing as a show of dereliction of duty, they claim, against Donald Trump. Didn't really go that way. It was more than that. It wasn't just indecisiveness or inaction. They were arguing last night it was willful, deliberate inaction. That's actually another stratosphere above dereliction of duty.
No, it's a great point, and I know that was outlined in the testimony from someone like Pat Cipollone. I know there was a point in the questioning where he was asked, essentially, who else was with the president in the tact that he wanted to take, and he basically said nobody, right?
Nobody in the White House, nobody in the staff was advocating to pull away or to remain idle. They were playing all these clips, and they were hearing from live witnesses who said they were wanting the president to intervene, to say something, because only former President Trump, they argued, had the power, the ability to turn that mob away. Nobody else could do it. And he was the singular person in the White House, according to the committee presentation, who was intransigent and unwilling to do it.
You know, there has also been talk about Trump wanting to get to the Capitol. Has there been anything hinted at that we will eventually find out what were Trump's plans once he got there? What did he plan to do once he joined the mob that was storming the Capitol?
Well, we know that there was concern from his White House counsel based on the previous testimony, the previous hearings, that if he simply had joined them, if he simply was there, that the White House would be exposed to any number of criminal code violations and criminal charges, because this is a mob, through its sheer number and focus, that obstructed an official proceeding, according to the Justice Department and many of these criminal cases, that its size and its desire was what stopped Congress from counting the electoral vote. If Donald Trump was there in person, he'd have been a component of that mob and would be exposed. We also know people in this crowd are charged with unlawful entry, entering a restricted building, disorderly conduct, in some cases, conspiracy. Having the former president there, at the time the president, could have exposed him. And that's what this committee has shown, that he is part of a conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. It's kind of a strange term, but it's an important term the committee is using, because that's the criminal code the Justice Department has charged any number of defendants with violating.
CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane with us here on KMOX. Obviously, this will be the last hearing for a while. The announcement being that the next hearings will be in September, so there's going to be a bit of a gap between now and when we hear more from this committee. But, and I know you know this probably better than anybody because you cover all of the cases related to January 6th as well. I assume that's going to remain busy here in the coming weeks.
It will. We should have any number of trials and sentencings in high-level cases. They are going to continue. They have to keep continuing without interruption because, as I mentioned, there are 850 cases so far. They've got to get through them all. And the Justice Department is predicting another 200 to 300 more arrests minimum still to come. And they're all funneling through the same courthouse, the Washington, D.C. federal courthouse. But let me give you this footnote about the committee's plan for future hearings. Unlike the previous times, they didn't predict what the focus would be or where they'd go with it. So manage expectations. They may just be brandishing the possibility of future hearings because as an investigating committee, that gives them more leverage with future witnesses and to secure more witnesses. There may not be any more blockbuster hearings, but by threatening or promoting future hearings to give themselves more muscle to get witnesses to come forward.
Last night, the committee and further testimony helped to bolster the testimony and credibility of Cassidy Hutchinson, the West Wing aide who provided her jaw-dropping testimony and evidence of what happened on January 6th. What do we know about her current state as far as facing threats or her safety? Because a lot of people pretty much assumed once she went up there and gave her testimony, there would be a lot of angry people who potentially might threaten her.
Sure. And Vice Chair of the committee, Liz Cheney, alluded to that last night, saying that Cassidy Hutchinson showed braveness. She showed a strong will, whereas there's these men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s hiding behind executive privilege. Liz Cheney kind of drew a contrast to show the bravery of Cassidy Hutchinson. The committee has also been unambiguous when they have said that they have concerns about witnesses prior and future being interfered with, tampered with, and threatened. The members of the committee are getting threats. They all walk around now with Capitol Police details because they're now in the center of targets of threats. So this is something that the witnesses who participate with this committee are warned about and realize that to do their civic duty, to be a part of these hearings and a part of this investigation comes at some cost. They're going to be the subject of threats.
Scott, thank you so much. We always appreciate you. Keep up the great work. We'll look forward to talking to you again down the road a bit.
Thanks, Kevin.
You got it. Scott MacFarlane, CBS News congressional correspondent, at MacFarlane News on Twitter. If you care to give him a follow, it's MacFarlane News. He has been all over the trials, even well before the committee hearings were a thing. You know, even before that, the trials have been kind of his sweet spot, if you will. He's been all over them from the very beginning. And there are a lot of different forms of these trials, right? There's some relatively minor ones, relatively minor sentences being handed out. Some of them are like 2 weeks in jail or something along that. And then there are the more serious ones involving Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. I think those are the ones that are probably going to start heating up here in the not too distant future based on his reporting. So
yeah, and
keep an eye on those.
And it will be interesting to see. I think, the committee is still trying to figure out exactly how much communication those groups like the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys had with key members of Trump's staff.
Right.
How much organizing was going on between those groups.
Yeah, definitely trying to establish that connection, and we'll see how it all plays out. We'll update you when there's news on any of it. We're going to let you know what's trending in the world coming up next here on the show on KMOX. Join Yadier Molina and your favorite Cardinals players at the Flavors of Puerto Rico charity dinner on Monday, August 15th at the Chase Park Plaza. You can enjoy rum-based cocktails and dinner prepared by one of Puerto Rico's celebrity chefs. The event benefits Foundation for Yadi's Foundation, which raises funds for underprivileged kids in St. Louis and Puerto Rico. For tickets or to sponsor, visit YadierMolina4.com or send an email to info@YadierMolina4.com for more information. You can also check the events page at KMOX.com/events.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
I'm not a weather guy, but I'm thinking we're going to have another hot month coming up here in July. Remember, like I said last month, if your air conditioner breaks and you do need to replace it, call me for a second opinion or even a price. You won't regret it. I won't waste your time. But if you don't call me, remember this. Do not take the cost of energy as it is right now and base it into your decision that you need an extremely high efficient air conditioner. I can assure you, as I speak right now, you will be wasting your money. You will not get a return on your investment. So don't panic. Call me, Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest number, and it's only one number, and there's only one Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or Bart Inman, that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and MSD's Project Clear to find your one thing. Don't buy plastic toys for your pet. Instead, look for natural materials like cotton, rope, wood, or bamboo. Pet waste left in our yards can quickly drain into water during rains and contaminate our area streams. MSD Project Clear reminds you to put pet waste in a sealed bag and place in the trash. Join Odyssey and MSD Project Clear. Together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Jay Leno and Jeff Foxworthy, two legends, one historic night. Friday, November 18th, the Fabulous Fox. Tickets are on sale now at metrotix.com.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
How long does it take an adult to learn to swim? It typically takes 20 hours of set lessons. What are you waiting for? Go to swimonfoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444. More Amy, more Kevin, more Chris.
What is this weird show?
The Show on KMOX.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened? I need to know.
Trending now on The Show.
All right, here's what's trending. We've got a lot of things. There's a lot. For this segment, we're going to avoid anything January 6th related for trending. Just, obviously, it's been a big part of the first hour, and it should be. It's big news, but obviously there are a lot of things there. Although we didn't really hit on it. Should we do one thing? One thing?
Okay, you do it.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of memes about Josh Hawley.
There have been. He is
That's
going
one
viral.
of the top trending things in the country right now. Number 3 is him, and people making the Forrest Gump jokes because the video of him running out of the Capitol during the riots has gotten a lot of people laughing, in part because of how he positioned himself in it, right? Like out front beforehand, you get the fist pump in the air, and you're like, with you guys. But then when you get a little too close, okay, that's too close. I'm out of here.
Right. No.
But I will say, you made a good point about this. Yeah, there's a laugh in there. And yeah, it's kind of funny when you look at it and like people are posting the Forrest Gump memes and all that. But it's also a demonstration of how serious that was. That a guy that identified with that crowd was like, well, this is way out of hand. I'm getting out of Dodge.
Yeah. Well, and it just shows... It shows the hypocrisy if Josh Hawley is saying, no, it was peaceful. We weren't afraid. Whatever he's doing to defend it. At one point, he was running for his life on that day.
Yeah.
Running for his safety.
And I don't blame him for that at all.
Oh, my gosh.
Everyone else was trying to get out of there, too. I mean, this is
Yeah.
not saying that what he did was wrong. It's how you position yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. That's our January 6th one for trending.
Well, how could you not? It is right up there at the very top.
And it is. I mean, we're in Missouri, and
We're
he's our
number
guy.
We're
so.
number one. Okay, on entertainment trending, Jack White. He's got a new album, Entering Heaven Alive. I actually have not listened to his new album, but I do love Jack White's music. He is so weird. He is weird as all get out, but I think he's very talented. You may know him, obviously, from the White Stripes, the Raconteurs. I actually enjoy his solo work more than all of his other work. And so he's got a new album out. I went to his Third Man Records studio in Nashville a few years ago. And that is just as weird as you would think it would be. Just like people working there dressed in Victorian era clothing. There's, bird cages or hands, disco balls, like just very weird, eclectic, but somehow he pulls it off as cool.
So a few other things that are trending. And of course, every day in sports, Juan Soto's name is trending. We touched on that a little bit yesterday. And by the way, Cardinals are back tonight on KMOX. We'll have our Redbird Report coming up at 12:30. But I'm, there are always the silly things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, weird things that kind of trend for no good reason or no apparently good reason. But then there are. But today there's one that's trending that is Fursuit Friday. Remember there was something related to furries a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Why is this always trending? I don't really have any thoughts on it, and I don't judge anybody, but it seems like this is getting a lot of attention on the Twitter.
Fursuit Friday.
Fursuit Friday.
And so it's for furries.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're posting pictures in their costumes. And again, no judgment. It's not my thing, but I'm not judging. I just can't believe it keeps trending. I didn't know that many people were into it, that it would be something that would trend so fast, so often.
Well, and the very online world is a different world than reality.
Very
like
good point.
Dave Chappelle said, Twitter is not real life. So
Not a real place, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes fringe ideas can look pretty mainstream on Twitter when everyone else is wondering what in the world you're talking about.
I will say some of it, too, is people that are not really into the scene, but you see it trending and you click, like me. I just clicked on it. I'm like, what is this? And I think that's what gets the trending going. It's not necessarily that many people are posting or involved, but I think a lot of people are curious when you see things that to you seem unusual.
So Pat Benatar is also trending.
Really?
This one's kind of interesting, and it's serious, and it's her decision, but she has dropped her hit Me With Your Best Shot from her current tour set list.
Really?
She said, out of respect for victims of mass shootings.
Huh.
I've never really thought of it in gun terminology.
I never thought of it in a literal sense.
No, I didn't
always thought it
either.
was more of a figure of speech.
It is a figure of speech, but even as a figure of speech, I've never thought of guns with that. But she has, that's one of her biggest hits.
That
if
is
not
her
her
biggest hit.
Yeah, it's her biggest hit. So she is dropping it from her tour set list.
Interesting. I wonder, I'm curious to say, I love concerts. I mean, as a kid, she's part of what I would call now what was my classic rock scene, right? She was pretty popular when I was young, and I liked Pat Benatar songs. I wouldn't say that I was ever a fan. I wouldn't, not like I'm going to go to a show. Not heavy enough for me, but but that's a big decision for any musician to say that my biggest hit, one of the things that everybody coming to see me is there. Like that's one of two places in a concert, that song. It's either the first one because it fires up the crowd and everybody goes, or it's the last one in your encore.
Yeah.
It's the one that sends everybody home. And I know it's relative to the real world. It's not that big of a deal, but to a person in that position, that's something that has been your calling card for 40 years.
Yeah. And again, she can do whatever she wants.
Absolutely.
It seems a bit, in my mind, unnecessary, only because, too, I think I always pictured it almost as a punching metaphor more than anything else.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're taking a punch. So I guess she's being ultra sensitive here, but
again, it's her song.
Yeah.
You're free to do it. I just hope that it wasn't a case where there was a lot of pressure put on her.
I don't think
but it doesn't sound. No, you're right. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like a choice.
Took it that way.
No,
Yeah.
and I don't think so. I know I never did, but I didn't know that was trending. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then there's one last one that was trending, and I don't know why, but I clicked on it because yesterday we talked about the BTS tweet that I didn't understand, and Andrew Stolz translated for us. I don't know why, but BTS is trending with Snoop Dogg. Are they performing together?
Oh, I don't know.
According to this is Billboard, and I just I had because I like Snoop Dogg. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a metal guy, but I like him. I like a lot of what people would call the old school rap and hip hop, or like Public Enemy, Snoop, Dre, all those. I love. That's like my wheelhouse.
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Mark and the Funky Bunch. Yeah. For people that missed the joke, that was somebody was asked about rap icons, and the answer was Public Enemy. On Jeopardy, a really brilliant person said it was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Anyway, but according to Billboard on Twitter, BTS and Snoop Dogg are working on a collaboration.
So someone posed this question. I don't remember who. Actually, I think it was on NPR on one of their on Wait, Don't Tell Me. They asked, when did Snoop Dogg become the Andy Griffith of American culture? Where
no, dude, but he's the best.
He's hanging out with grandmas. He's doing commercials. Everybody loves him.
He's friends with Martha Stewart.
Yes, he's like the all-American Snoop Dogg. It's literally went from Andy Griffith to Snoop Dogg.
He also might be the best sports commentator in the history of sports commentating. Have you ever heard him do?
I've heard him do hockey.
Yes, he sat in the. It was the best. They let him call play-by-play. It was the best. And then what he and Kevin Hart did for the Olympics was just genius.
Yeah.
Absolute genius. So you talk about a life turn, right?
Yeah.
I mean, his early days wasn't exactly what you would call on the up and up, but you talk about a guy that's changed over time, and now he's just it's like your uncle, like Uncle Snoop.
I know, but he literally has that vibe like probably Andy Griffith did, at some point in our history. So it's funny how culture has changed.
Sorry, that man does not age.
Is that because he always looked kind of old?
I don't know. No, I mean, to me, he never looked old. And I mean, he's my exact age. He and I are exactly the same age. He's 50. I'm 50. He's a month older than me. I don't know why, but I look at him. I don't see that. I see a guy that looks,
I thought he was older.
But I knew he had to be because I know when he broke big. I know when he was young when he made it big. But I know how long he's been around. It's just weird because he doesn't look it.
See, I feel like he's always looked older.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, maybe I didn't notice because he has sunglasses
also,
on.
maybe it's just the way he carries himself, too, because he acts young. He's kind of funny, smart alecky, silly. Of course, that's probably why I like him. We're both 50-year-old men that don't act our age.
Did you see him when he played Lou Fest?
No, I wish. I missed it I don't remember why, but I had a conflict.
It was Snoop Dogg, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I missed if he came through. I missed it.
Oh. I might be confusing.
You might be confusing him with someone else.
Like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
The Funky Bunch, yeah. All right, hang tight. We got a lot of ground to cover here. We're going to have Debbie Monterey pop in. She and Amy are going to go do something fun tonight. We'll tell you about that on the show.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right, Weight Loss Seminar, Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the Four Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Weight Loss Seminar, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar, 8 to 10 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
Biden and the radical left that controls Congress broke the national bank. They unleashed the inflation monster, which broke into our homes and smashed our family piggy banks. Bidenflation now costs you $460 more every month. It's a Biden failure tax that hits the poor and middle class hardest. Our Congressman, Blaine Luetkemeyer, is fighting to fix what Biden broke.
We can get America back on track. First, we have to stop Biden's runaway spending of money we don't have to bring down inflation. We have to end Biden's war on American energy and return to energy independence. That will bring down gas prices, and we build that wall and re-secure the border.
Our Congressman, Blaine Luetkemeyer, is fighting to fix what Biden broke. Blaine Luetkemeyer is one of us, leading for us.
I'm Blaine Luetkemeyer, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Blaine for Congress.
KMOX, KEZK, HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Busey's community focus takes us to Edwardsville in July. I'm joined by Steve Grant, Vice President and Busey Area Manager for Edwardsville, and a Rotarian to talk about the Busey Bank Rotary Criterium Festival, a fun biking event coming this summer. Listen to our July podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 88 degrees downtown of the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan. Our top story this hour, a drought map prepared by the University of Nebraska-Lincoln shows every state in the U.S. has at least a small area considered to be a drought and under drought conditions. Well, here in Missouri, 53 counties are now under drought alert after Governor Mike Parsons signed an executive order just yesterday. Lance Maynard is a farmer in parched Perry County, Missouri.
We are supposed to have some rain next week. Hopefully that'll help. I don't know if it'll help the temperatures, but some rain will definitely do us some good.
Maynard grows fruit and vegetables. He fears his fall harvest will be half of what is expected. Today's high 101. Dean DeVore has the latest forecast coming up. A Chesterfield man has drowned in the Merrimack River. Missouri State Highway Patrol troopers removed the body of 65-year-old Lawrence Crumray from the water downstream from River Round Access. This was yesterday morning. Troopers say Crumray's kayak overturned. He was unable to swim to shore. Last night's primetime January 6 hearing revealed video showing U.S. Senator Josh Hawley fleeing the Capitol after it was breached on January 6. This after he fist bumped the future rioters before entering the Capitol. KMOX's political analyst Michael Kelly reacts.
Look, Josh Hawley looked like a loser when he was running, and he is. His behavior that day was capped by what we saw and the fact that he was running for shelter. Unfortunately, in Missouri, I just don't know that it will have much impact.
John Hancock represents the right.
It was a serious and dangerous time. And as I've watched these hearings, I have marveled that there wasn't more loss of life. than there. And what loss of life we had was tragic, of course.
The hearings also revealed desperate pleas from allies, aides, members of Congress, and even the family of former President Donald Trump while he refused to call off the mob on January 6th. From the First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, a lower demand and falling crude oil prices are combining to drop our price at the pump.
AAA Missouri says the statewide average price for regular unleaded is $4.10. That's nearly 25 cents less than this time last week, but it's $1.30 more than this time last year. Some metro areas in Missouri are seeing gas prices drop below $4 per gallon. In St. Louis, this average is $4.22, but in Joplin, it's $3.89. The highest average remains in Jefferson City, $4.35 per gallon. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
The Dow from Stifel right now is down 39 points. Crash 270 westbound past Elizabeth has 2 left lanes closed right now. MoDOT says it could be cleared after the bottom of the hour. Stalled vehicle I-70 westbound past First Capitol Drive. That's the right shoulder that has a problem. Stalled vehicle 55 southbound at Gasconade. Be prepared to stop in that area. Your weather for today.
KMOX AccuWeather, a hot afternoon within a few degrees of 100 with mostly sunny skies. We're looking at mainly clear, very warm conditions tonight, low 80s. Heat advisories through the weekend. We'll get up to 104 tomorrow, still near 100 on Sunday. Some thunderstorm pop-ups, and then we should break the heat wave and stay in the upper 80s on Monday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Right now in St. Peters, we have 88 degrees. In Florissant, it is 87 with sunny skies. And downtown at the Arch, we have 88 degrees, sunny skies right now. I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
11:04 on the show on KMOX. Amy Marskors and Kevin Wheeler here. Ranj is back on Monday if we let him in the door. We'll talk about that on Sunday night. Debbie Monterey, though, was allowed in the door because she's our good friend. Hi, Deb.
Hi.
How's it going?
Well, good, really well. I've been on vacation, so when Ranji wasn't here, I thought, oh, they finally got rid of him.
Hey, Dave, mark that down. We're going to play that for Ranj when he comes back.
Well, you were back, and I had the wrong Puerto. I thought you were in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, no, I was in Puerto Plata,
Yes.
Dominican Republic.
How was it?
It was beautiful. I'd never been. So now I've been to both sides of the island because my daughter and I went to Haiti about 5 years ago with Kyle McClellan's organization. And this time we went to the Dominican Republic.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Very exciting. And tonight, go ahead.
What do you do when you're there? Like, is it like what's your vacation thing when you get to go tropical? Are you like a jet ski or just a chill and hang out?
I just chilled and hung out because honestly, I don't know the last time I've taken a vacation like this, if ever. My vacations are usually go, go, go. Like you get up at 8 in the morning and you like just go, you see a million things and it's like run all day and the end of your vacation.
So
you need a
they're all
vacation.
Disney trips, right?
No, I never do that. You know, when you need a vacation from your vacation. And this time I thought, you know what? I need a vacation where I just literally lay on a beach.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much what we did. The
That's a
kids
good
loved it.
call.
I loved it. I read 3 books, like 3 books in a week.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. I got a tan. It was wonderful.
Is that the thing that's got words in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Lots of words. I read lots of words.
Any pictures?
No
I like the
pictures.
ones with pictures.
Yeah, I love going to the beach, but I'm the person that I have a really hard time reading on the beach. It's sunny, it's bright, it's always windy, which is fine.
Mhm.
And so the pages and you're greasy because of sunscreen. So I still at my age play at the beach.
Yes.
Like I want to play paddleball or football or get rafts and go out in the ocean and ride the waves, surf, anything like that. I have to play on the beach.
Yeah.
I'm like a
100%.
kid.
Yep.
My kids are older now, so my son will be 13 in a week or so, and my daughter will be 18 later this year.
Oh my God.
I know, right? They both played in the sand like they were 5
I
because
love it.
there's just something, I don't know, something that comes over you when you're on a beach. And I went to the gift shop and I bought one of those little kitty bucket sets. It was like it was like $25 too.
Really?
Yes, it was ridiculous. But they played with the bucket and the little shovel and the rake for 2 days. I mean, my son dug a hole that was about 6 feet deep. I mean, I was like, okay, this is our vacation. I'm laying here reading a book,
Just
and
don't bug me.
they're digging a hole in the sand, and there's cocktails, so all is well.
I do love the fascination with digging holes.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, no matter what age you are, you're always digging a hole. And then if you walk by any crew that's digging a hole, there's always the guy in the hole and like 4 or 5 guys staring at it. Even if there's not a guy in the hole, they're just like staring at it.
Did you ever do anything like that? Like dig a deep, like really deep hole, like when you're a kid or at the beach or anything like that?
Not like a tunnel, definitely a hole, because it's really hard to dig a hole. I felt like enough where you could stand up to your chest.
Oh, yeah.
But never like a tunnel.
We had one. We were trying to dig a tunnel.
Yeah, to China. Remember how kids like you could dig
I don't
a
know
hole
that
to
we
China?
had a destination. We just wanted a tunnel, and we decided to dig in my friend's backyard, like right across the street.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding. It was above our heads.
Well,
that's how deep we got. Like, and now we were kids. I was probably 3rd grade, but it was above our heads. That's how we had to use a step stool to get out.
Oh, wow. That's a good hole.
This was an observation that we made while we were on the beach, and my son was digging this hole. He was getting frustrated because the sides would start to collapse, and then he'd have to dig it back out. And he was talking about how hard it was to dig this hole. And I said, you ever notice, though, in the movies or on TV shows, it's super easy to dig a hole because they're always burying a body. And it's like one guy with a shovel, and it takes him, 20 minutes, and he dug this giant hole to bury a body.
I am so glad you bring that up because I forgot how much it weighs on me. The misrepresentation of the difficulty of digging holes really bothers me. My parents planted all of these bushes at their house, and I'm really bad with manual labor. And so they had like 35 of these bushes that they were planting, just as landscape decoration. And I think I dug 2 holes. And that was the extent of my hole digging. It's difficult. You always hit a rock. They never hit rocks in the movies.
Yeah.
It's funny that she can run 26 miles.
I know, but
digging a hole is too much for her.
It is.
That's the limit.
Yeah.
That's the
The other thing about being in the Dominican Republic is the weather was so much nicer than here. You would think you're so much further south. It's got to be much hotter because some people ask me, why would you go to a hot beach vacation in the summer?
Yeah.
But it was maybe 89, 90 degrees every day with these cool ocean breezes that never stop. So it was always breezy.
Yeah.
And I would look at my phone and I'm like, oh, kids, it's 104 degrees in St. Louis. And we would sit out on our little lanai and read books and stuff at 6 o'clock at night. And I said to my daughter, when was the last time we sat in our backyard? Like March, maybe March?
Yeah. It's so hot. Well, my friend just got back from India. He's from India and he was in Mumbai, and he said it was not as hot and humid there as it is here. And Mumbai is known for being so hot and humid that they even have the marathon there at night because it's so hot and humid. And he said it was worse here.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
So we like having you in for a lot of reasons, Deb, but we have you in specifically today because the 2 of you are going to see John Mulaney tonight, and I am jealous. That's awesome.
Okay, so how long ago did we buy these tickets, Amy?
100 years ago.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
Amy just said, well, this came after we decided we might go see Harry Styles together, but the tickets were I said, I like Harry Styles, but not $650.
What? No, it was so
It was
expensive.
ridiculous. It was crazy. It was sold out. And so the tickets were, I like him, but not that much.
I don't know if I like anybody that much.
I know. And then she said, well, how about John Mulaney? And we laugh over John Mulaney clips all the time, especially The Horse in the Hospital. I can watch that 45 times in a row and just laugh every time. So I said, oh yeah, let's do it. And then it seemed like it was so long ago.
Yeah.
And then I booked this vacation, and I remember I had this moment of sheer panic because I forgot to put the John Mulaney concert on my calendar. And I called Amy and I'm like, oh my God, when's the John Mulaney concert? And she said, oh, it's the 22nd. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because I'll just get back from my vacation.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's fun. He's at Enterprise tonight.
Is it Enterprise or Stiefel?
I thought it was Enterprise. I think it's Enterprise.
I never saw a ticket. I know I paid for one.
I know I've never seen a ticket either. So we're going with several of my other friends. In fact, one of the friends that I went to Nashville with this past weekend, we are going to get drinks beforehand and then head on over to the John Mulaney concert or show. I love laughing. Watching stand-up comedy is it's like therapy. It's like a relief, right? The news is so toxic all day long. Everything's depressing. But then at night, I just have to clock out and I think I've watched Kid Gorgeous several times. That's his Radio City Music Hall special.
It is Enterprise, by the way.
His delivery, there's something about his delivery. You know, you can be a really funny person and still not be able to tell a joke well. There's something about his voice and the way he sets it up and I don't know, just the way he talks.
You guys want to know what's the key to a really good joke? Timing.
Oh my gosh. Look at him.
So horrible. But that again, so that one falls into it's funny because it's so awful.
Yeah. That's right
Right?
up there with the interrupting cow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard that knock knock.
Who's there?
The interrupting cow.
Dang it. Hate that cow.
Okay. We've referred to the horse in the hospital. Do we want to hear a second of that?
We got a little bit of it
Okay.
here. Is it bleeped?
Is it bleeped?
Or at least
Yeah.
deleted?
It's a little bleeped.
He doesn't swear much.
No, he doesn't.
His
there were a
his
couple in
swears
this,
are
though.
well placed.
Yeah, they are. They're well used.
Right.
So people know, because I'm not sure if he concludes that he's talking about the current president. This was, I guess, 2016, 2017.
Yes.
And he starts it out by saying, I don't know if you watch the news, but things are getting a little sticky. And this is his description.
When a horse is loose in a hospital, you got to stay updated. So all day long, you walk around, oh, what'd the horse do? What'd the horse do? The updates, they're not always bad. Sometimes they're just odd. Be like, the horse used the elevator. I didn't know he knew how to do that. The creepiest days are when you don't hear from the horse at all. You're down in the operating room like, hey, has anyone, has anyone heard? Those are those quiet days when people are like, it looks like the horse has finally calmed down. And then 10 seconds later, the horse is like, I'm going to run towards the baby incubators and smash them with my hooves. I got nice hooves and a long tail. I'm a horse. And it's like, oh, that's what I thought you'd say, you fucking horse. And then you go to brunch with people and they're like, there shouldn't be a horse in the hospital. And it's like, we're well past that.
That was him describing Trump as president in the first year or two. He goes, with this guy being president, it's like there's a horse
In the
a
hospital. It's never happened before.
And he goes, then they have the experts that say, well, I've once seen a bird in an airport. He goes, stop with that. We've all seen a bird in the airport.
But we've never seen a horse in the hospital.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we
There
will
you
be
go.
laughing tonight.
He probably won't be telling that joke, though. I understand this is a whole new show.
Usually you get that. It's not, I mean, because I went to a concert the other night. You know how concerts are. You're going to get, you know what songs you're getting.
Yeah.
Right. You know, at least half the songs. You're like, I know they're going to play these greatest hits. They're going to play the ones that everybody wants. You know, they're going to mix in a couple of newish ones, most of the time ones that nobody wants to hear. Right. Like when the,
Right.
Like when the, I
They're
saw
like, boo, we don't want the new stuff.
and a long time ago, like 1988, I thought it was the end of the Rolling Stones because I saw them on the Steel Wheels tour.
Same. This is the last time I'll see them.
I was in high school and I was like, we might be seeing the last Stones tour. And they go out and then they start playing stuff. You know, they're playing all the great hits. And then they play some of the new stuff from Steel Wheels. And everybody sits down.
Yeah, right.
I was like, you guys do that. We're
we
gonna
didn't. We didn't buy this one.
bathroom break. Yeah, time to go. That's how that works.
Actually, if you were to go back, I don't know, 40 years and tell everyone the Stones will still be touring and Biden and Pelosi and Grassley
And they'd all still be there?
Feinstein, they'd all still be there running the country, you'd be like,
I'd be
I
like,
don't believe
get the
it.
horse out of the hospital.
get
Is
the
what I'd be
horse out of
saying.
the hospital.
You guys have fun tonight. Thanks.
Thanks. For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman at ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, but you're not sure where you're going to go after you sign a contract with a buyer, if you sell to us, we can provide a flexible closing date for you. And once we've written a contract, we can actually adjust the closing date if you need to move it up or you need to move it back at any time. Find us at ClaymanGroup.com. And simplify your sale by closing on your timeline. KLAMEN Group.com.
What makes for a great vacation?
Depends on who you ask. Are you looking to get away or bring everyone together? Do you want to get outside and play or see a play at the plate? Fortunately, however you operate, I'm the destination you've been looking for. The name's Missouri, but you can call me Mo. And I have just one question. What's your MO? Come see me at visitmo.com.
For a smarter conversation about money, Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. Your hosts and their guests will explore how our financial decisions shape our everyday lives. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now, there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
Scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
With Wholesale Formula Seminar, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar, and I'm now doing $175,000 in sales per month.
Hey, everyone. Ryan and Karen Pottinger here.
Because of the Wholesale Formula, last year we ran our business while we traveled to and lived in 4 different countries.
Hey, Emric Manello. 2 years after attending the Wholesale Formula seminar, I was able to sell my Amazon business for over $400,000.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired or need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Discover the easy way to make money on Amazon with Dylan Frost, the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar, Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
All right, you're back in on the show. Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Ron will be back on Monday. Debbie Monterey was kind enough to jump in last segment and liked it so much, decided to stay for our second segment.
Well, we kind of...
They tied me to the chair.
We tied her to the chair.
Well, Deb, you just found out too. I don't know how it works in TIAM. I know how it works on the Glover show. I know how it worked on Sports of Line because it was only me. But our show doesn't stop.
No.
The breaks are just breaks from the listeners hearing us because the show never stops.
Well, Amy has often said that what I say during the commercial breaks is far more entertaining.
Yes. Well, Deb, with
when the
Debbie,
mics are on.
You should hear Amy swear during. No,
That's
Amy's
not true.
She's not a swearer.
we do raise our voices though off air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, with Debbie, Debbie's awesome. Debbie should have like a satellite radio show that's all her off-air content.
Debbie Unplugged.
Debbie Unplugged.
America's sweetheart unplugged. Yeah, and then you can really see it. Okay, this is something that relates to the Mulaney concert tonight at Enterprise. Guys, I'm wearing a mask the whole show. So when I know you just traveled, Debbie. I went to Nashville over the weekend and I wore a mask the entire time in the airport and on the plane. Same thing on the way back. It was a wedding and now it was an outdoor wedding. I didn't wear a mask in the wedding. I wore a mask in the Uber, except for I forgot one with Norman, and Norman was a crazy driver and almost sideswiped 3 people. Who knows? Maybe he had COVID. I don't know. He was driving like a crazy man. But I will be wearing a mask, and I will say this on the airplane. It was me and my friend, and I think one other person who wore a mask on the flight there. So we were 2 of the 3, and on the flight back, we were also 2 of the 3. I was shocked. I mean, those 737s are big planes. You got a couple hundred people on those planes. It represents a great cross-section of society flying at any given time. And my friend and I were the only people on the plane except for one person.
I am not one of those people who wears a mask everywhere.
No,
Just
neither
some
am I.
places I just feel less safe than others. So I had told my kids a few weeks before we were going to leave on this trip, I said, you guys, I would really like to, if we all wore masks on the plane, because to me, planes are gross anyway. And you're in this, you're in this contained space with recycled air and who knows. So they were okay with that. But then both of them before our trip got COVID. So I thought for a while we might have to cancel the trip, but it worked out just perfectly time-wise that they were okay to go out as long as they wore masks. So I said, you guys, sorry, but you have to wear a mask the entire time through 2 airports and on 2 plane rides until we get to the beach. So they were fine with that. And my son less so. But anyway, that's another story. So on the way back, they didn't technically have to wear them, but my daughter and I did because I don't know. There's thousands of people in the airport. We're in Miami. There's people everywhere. So I'm wearing a mask in the airport. I'm wearing a mask on the plane. And like you said, Amy, it's a 737. How many people are on a 737? I have no idea. Like 300, 400? I don't know.
Answer man will know.
And I would say my daughter and I were wearing a mask, maybe 10 other people total on the whole plane. And I didn't notice it on the other flights, but our Miami to St. Louis flight, there were 3 people sitting near us who coughed the entire flight.
416 passengers.
Okay, yeah. And probably 15 people wearing masks. But seriously, 3 people continually coughing the entire flight. And I just wanted to stand up and go, people, you're all getting COVID. Come on. But I didn't want to take off my mask to say it.
The coughers is kind of rude. And I would say, let's say you have a cough and it's not COVID. You could wear a mask just for the comfort of other people. And I understand that masks are hugely divisive and a lot of people hate them. And obviously, like I said, a cross section of society at any given time on a plane. So, probably lots of different political beliefs, backgrounds, and health statuses. And they didn't wear a mask, and that's fine. I just personally felt better wearing a mask. What's funny is I understand that my own decisions are pretty arbitrary. There have been a lot of studies that show planes are actually pretty darn safe when it comes to the air and the filters. And I don't wear a mask at the grocery store. I didn't wear a mask at the wedding. And so at this point, I think, I don't feel like I have to defend my position. I'm just going to wear a mask when I feel like I should. But I acknowledge if you guys are like, oh, you're living in fear. Not so much that. It's just an arbitrary decision like so many things are.
Well, and then I went to Schnucks yesterday because we had no food in the house. And I did wear a mask. And I don't know why. Because I hadn't been wearing one. So you're right. It's totally arbitrary. But going tonight to John Mulaney, I said to Amy, I'll wear a mask if you wear one because there'll be
strength in numbers.
Tons of people there and people laughing, breathing all over everybody. So I'm like, I don't know any of you people and I don't know where you've been.
Does it matter to you guys that it's a big space? Like it's not, because that's kind of how my mind is at this point. If I were going to be in a small club, I'd probably think about it. I was at the Rob Zombie concert the other night at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. I mean, it packed. And
how's Rob looking these days?
He's looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. A little bit more gray in the beard, but he's otherwise pretty good. He's super flexible.
Really?
He's 57 and he's like bending and twisting and doing all kind. I don't know how
he kind of scares me.
Really?
I mean, his horror
movies
movies that he puts out
they're so good though.
Oh, they're too slasher for me.
If you like horror movies,
I love horror movies.
Really?
I don't like slasher movies.
That's also, people would be surprised. America's Sweetheart does love horror movies. And I 100% agree with what sent you down that dark route. And that would be Scooby-Doo, the gateway show to horror movies.
It's the gateway drug to horror. Yeah.
That's what got me in when I was a kid, man. It was like those creepy kids.
Yeah. Exactly.
Meddling kids. Sorry, they weren't creepy. They were meddling. Although
if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
I always thought Freddy was kind of creepy.
Did you?
I don't know. Just like kind of had that bro
Here's
vibe.
my question. Shaggy wasn't a kid. Didn't he have a beard?
Well, he kind of did,
I got news for you.
My son's got a little mustache.
I was going to say,
he's 12,
I got news for you, man. I coach 14-year-olds. Some of the 14-year-olds have beards. You see him on another TV, be like,
I don't know.
He's 24. He just drove here.
If Shaggy showed up at your kid's school in that van, would you be like, yeah, go solve a mystery with that guy?
Go for a ride with Shaggy.
He was a high school.
I hear he's got snacks.
Why do they have snacks all the time?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We shouldn't delve too deeply into Shaggy.
Like, look out, Scoob.
But seriously, I do think that Scooby-Doo is a gateway drug.
Yeah, I think so.
So what types of horror movies? Like the old school,
like
psycho type horror movies, or
I love all kinds of horror
Like
movies.
monster movies?
Except, yeah, even like those. Like Godzilla. I loved Godzilla movies growing up.
I meant more like Dracula.
Yeah,
or
I loved.
something.
Oh, one of my first loves in life. This shows you what a creepy little kid I was Christopher Lee. I loved Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
He was so I think he started my love for tall, thin British men because I just loved Christopher Lee.
You had a lot of gateway drugs when you were a kid. Christopher Lee's your gateway drug to the tall, slim British dude.
Yeah, no, I would watch those Christopher Lee Hammer films, and I just, I was really into vampires. Thanks to him.
Well, you guys enjoy the show. Have
Thank
fun.
you.
Thanks again, Deb. Thanks for staying twice as long, too. We appreciate it.
Now everybody's like, she is really weird.
We know it's hot.
The heat. It's really hot. 100 degrees today, again.
But for how long?
Hopefully it cools off soon.
Stay up to date with this week's hot weather with KMOX meteorologist Dean DeVore in the morning.
Near 100 today, tomorrow. Thunderstorms late Sunday.
And Dave Murray in the afternoon.
Thursday, sunny, hot. Pure summer Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Summer weather forecasts. Plus the Air Comfort Heating and Cooling Storm Center when needed.
The sea wave could continue for almost 2 weeks.
Only on News Radio 1120. KMOX.
Donate your car to Goodwill and get 4 free tickets to Six Flags. Ride the greats like the Screaming Eagle or hang out at Hurricane Harbor. Donating a car to Goodwill is easy. Towing is free, and you'll get a tax receipt. For more information or to donate online, visit mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Six Flags. Hurry while supplies last. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
Support Cardinals Care and its mission for caring for kids in the community by purchasing a 50-50 raffle ticket each Friday, Saturday, and Sunday home game this season. One lucky winner will win 50% of the pot each raffle date. Fans can buy online or in stadium from a roaming seller or at a 50-50 kiosk. You must be 18 years or older in the state of Missouri to purchase. Visit cardinals.com/5050 to get your tickets and learn more.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep. We have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
At 11:30, sunny skies, 89 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan. Here's what's happening. President Joe Biden is reportedly only displaying mild COVID-19 symptoms after coming down with the virus. Dr. Anthony Fauci.
The fact that he is on Paxlovid, I fully expect that he will do very well.
Biden had a 99.4-degree fever last night. Closing arguments underway in the criminal trial of former Trump White House senior aide Steve Bannon. A verdict is possible today. Bannon's attorneys say the judge should acquit him, saying prosecutors did not prove their case for contempt of Congress. A helicopter went down in Waterloo, Illinois this morning. Fox 2 reports a possible crop duster crashed in a cornfield. A good sign the pilot was up and walking. All-Star break is over. Cards are on the road against the Reds. Wainwright on the Hill. Game time 5:40 tonight on KMOX. Right now, there's a crash. 141 southbound past Fielder Lane. The left shoulder has a problem there. Also, stalled vehicle. I-170 southbound before Delmar Boulevard. The right lane is closed right now because of that incident. Weather for today, hot as you might expect. We've been talking about a heat wave forever here, it seems like, on KMOX. A high of 100 or a few degrees short of that possible today. Low of 82 tonight. 104 the high possible tomorrow. 108 is the record set in 1934. Sunday, a high around 100, then partly sunny, possible thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. Right now in St. Peter's, we have 90 degrees and 89 degrees in Florissant and 89 downtown to the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
The following is a commercial announcement.
Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees necessary. We're here to give you the news, weather, and traffic you need and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money simply to play their music. Don't let radio go silent. Text LOCAL to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Did you have a dream last night? If not, are you sure?
Everyone dreams for about 2 hours per night.
We just don't have the tape recorder running.
Do pilots get jet lag? Are we ever going to get a hangover cure? Did the dinosaurs have feathers?
They had feathers.
Figured I'd give you that one. My name is Mike Simpson. This is what we do on my podcast. It's called I've Got Questions. Chameleons are not what you think. Beer used to be a drink at breakfast. Let's learn some stuff. New episodes Thursdays. I've Got Questions on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcasts.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Tonight, it's the Cards and Reds. Ameren pregame show 4:45. First pitch 5:40. Hear the game here on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
All right, it's 11:33 on the show on KMOX. Amy Mark scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. We've been a bit of a how would you say this? We've been a little bit schizophrenic on the show today because we've been alternatively very serious. January 6 hearing stuff, talking to Hancock and Kelly about that, talking to Scott McFarland. We've had a little bit of fun with John Mulaney material and you and Deb going to the show. So now I guess it's time to be super serious again. This isn't super, though. This isn't the same level as some of the other things we've had to get into here. But in the wake of the overturning of Roe, there has been a push in Congress to try to codify some things that people have felt were threatened, right? Gay marriage was one of those things. Obviously, Congress took action. Now we have to wait for the Senate to vote on a bill that has already passed the House in that regard. Yesterday, there was a bill put forth in the House on contraception.
The
and
right
protecting,
to contraception.
Right, making
bill.
sure that that won't be something, because these are all things that were related to cases that could be heard. Cases, by the way, that were mentioned by Clarence Thomas in his writings on the overturning of Roe.
Which I think accelerated the concern for people.
Right. I think this is a direct response to that being mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So yesterday, they put forth the bill on contraception. It passed mostly on party lines. I think 10 Republicans in the House voted for it, or was it eight? Eight. So 8 voted for it. Obviously, all the Democrats did, and then the rest of the Republicans didn't. And what ended up happening yesterday was trending. 96% was trending, and that was referring to the fact that 96% of Republicans in the House voted against this bill. And my response was, well, why? Like, why would you be against this? That seems like something that the vast majority of Americans would agree on. And Amy, playing the role of answer man in this case, says, I have the explanations for you, and we'll talk about it on the air.
Yes.
But obviously, it's more than just voting for what the name of the bill is.
Which is the Right to Contraception Act, right? And bills are named for very strategic reasons.
Of course.
And bills are brought up before midterms for very strategic reasons, because it forces a Republican or Democrat to go on the record. And your political opponent can say, for instance, Bob Johnson voted against the Right to Contraception Act. So here is, and again, here's Nancy Pelosi's tweet after the House passed the bill 228 to 195. Today, 197 members of the House GOP made clear that they don't believe women have a right to contraception. These extremist Republicans don't want women to have birth control. They want to control women. And House Democrats are fighting back. That's Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi about her Republican counterparts. Now, that is a misrepresentation of many Republicans' beliefs on contraception. And again, this bill was named the Right to Contraception Act so that so that if you voted against it, you would look like a terrible person. And you may be wondering, why did these Republicans vote against the Right to Contraception Act?
Because that's the question everybody's asking.
Yes.
Why would you do this?
So let me give you an example from my own life when homeschooling in the 80s, which was pretty much the pioneer days of homeschooling, late 70s into the 80s, when not as many people knew about homeschooling. A lot of people had their suspicions about it. We used to have little pamphlets, should the DFS come knocking, because if you didn't go to school, sometimes neighbors would report you. Now, of course, we have seen the burgeoning of homeschooling, not just for religious reasons. In fact, that's far down on the list. But anyway, it's popular, blah, blah, blah. But what would happen is you'd have a bill in California or in Missouri that would be called something very positive, like the Don't Kick Puppies bill, right? My goodness, of course we don't want to kick puppies. And they'd have that whole bill. But then at the bottom of the bill, they would have some lines like, and oh, by the way, to homeschool, parents have to be licensed teachers, or, they have to be teachers, have a background in education.
Certificate? Is that what it is?
Certified teachers, yeah. Yep. So that would effectively eliminate many families who homeschool, because many of the parents are not certified teachers. And if they were, obviously a lot of them would be teaching in schools. They wouldn't be homeschooling. This is not a hypothetical. This was actually in California, except for the name of the bill. So then we'd have to call our representatives and say, hey, this Don't Kick Puppies bill has language in there that really affects the rights of homeschoolers. Please vote against this bill. Then those legislators would vote against the bill. And guess what you could say? Bob Johnson voted against the Don't Kick Puppies bill. So in this Right to Contraception Act, just a few things that the Republicans pushed back against. The bill explicitly overrides the Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993, signed by President Bill Clinton. Now, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act allows for religious exemptions if certain acts that are legal go against your beliefs. The most famous recent case was the Little Sisters of the Poor, a group of nuns who didn't want to provide funding for contraception or abortion. The Little Sisters of the Poor received that exception that they didn't have, their health care didn't have to provide abortion and contraception, because obviously that goes against their religious beliefs. And the Supreme Court ruled in their favor last year. This Right to Contraception Act would supersede that decision and the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, so that organizations like the Little Sisters of the Poor would have to provide those services that go against their beliefs. This bill also funnels large sums of taxpayer dollars to the country's largest abortion provider, Planned Parenthood. Yes, Planned Parenthood provides contraceptions, but they're also the largest abortion provider. It also ensures the federal right to an abortion drug. That's a pill that's used to terminate pregnancy up to the first 10 weeks. So you can see how some Republicans who are against abortion would be against codifying this abortifacient that's been used up to 10 weeks. There's also no minimum age for contraception. So an organization would have to, or Planned Parenthood, for instance, a 13-year-old could come in and you don't have to have any parental consent. And you can see how that would bother some parents. So these are all legitimate things to push back on. However, that's not what you're seeing in the headlines. It's what Nancy Pelosi said, that these extremist Republicans don't want women to have birth control. They want to control women. That is demonstrably false. I know I'm going on a rant here, but I'm going to list several Republicans who have gone on the record, both A, supporting birth control, easier access to birth control and over-the-counter birth control, and who have also gone on the record saying they voted against this bill because it supersedes the Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993. Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Kathy McMorris Rogers, Marionette Miller Meeks, who, by the way, is a physician from Iowa who brought her own legislation to the Iowa Senate to make over-the-counter contraceptives available. She explicitly said it was because it supersedes the Religious Freedom Act. She also co-sponsored an alternate bill with Representative Ashley Hinton of Iowa, which would make over-the-counter contraceptions more available. And again, Representative Ashley Hinton. So this was a brief search of Republicans' responses to the contraception bill. And that's what bothers me. I know this is what, everybody does this, what they name their bills. But the Democrats strategically named the bill the Right to Contraception bill, and then strategically picked a fight over religious liberty so that they could portray Republicans as against contraception. And it works. I mean, it's working. That's what they do.
This whole process is why I hate politics and why I think it's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can, in this case, it is being misrepresented by the Democratic Party.
Yes.
In this case, if you had simply made it about one thing, you probably get more agreement, but we can't make anything about one thing. We have to attach other things to the one thing that we want to do. And
specifically other things that your political opposition will be against.
Sure. And even if it's not that, even if it's just expenditures on something else, this is why we have problems, in my opinion, because we can argue, well, both sides do it. Yeah, they do. And we all need to stop. It needs to stop.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop with the show. We're putting on a show.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to, I mean, in some ways you can argue you're trying to own your opponents. You're obviously trying to gain political points, but I don't know that it works, right? If your point here is to just make people who vote for you angry, well, sure, that works, but they're already going to vote for you, right? And we can make these same arguments regardless of who's making that argument.
Except on this one. I'm going to say, if you don't dig for these statements, if you don't understand the language that's in this bill and why Republicans would vote against it, I do think you could lose a lot of the Republican female vote, because this is a huge concern. Contraception is a huge concern. I, as a Republican, as a Christian, I know with Catholicism, there's pushback against birth control, but in Protestant circles, the evangelical circles, everyone's always talking about there. I don't know anyone who's against contraception in that. And so if you don't know that, though, and you see that 197 Republicans voted against the right to contraception bill, that would be upsetting.
Well, this is also, I mean, you're right, but I would hope that people, A, aren't satisfied with a headline, and B, it's not like the Republican Party isn't good at messaging. They're very good at messaging and getting the word out, right? I mean, that's been, in fact, I would argue they're way better at that, historically speaking, than the Democratic Party.
Can you clarify, like what message?
Like getting on a message and spreading the message. Like because, we talk about the different types of outlets that are out there, right? Mm-hmm. The belief is, and I think are pretty much mostly justified, that there are a lot of left-leaning TV outlets.
Yeah.
And you've got Fox News, obviously, that's on that side. And then there are the newer ones that aren't as established, but you have Newsmax and others that are even further down the line. But talk radio nationwide is conservative. It is. There is nothing that compares. It's like 90% of political talk is conservative on the radio side. So there are plenty of ways to get your message out, that and social media and going to news outlets that are more friendly to you, the places that you talk to on a regular basis. So if you are in the House, if you are a member of the party leadership, shouldn't be too hard to reach your people at least. You may not reach the people on the other side of the aisle, and I think that's where the system is broken. But I think each of them knows how to reach their own, right?
Yeah, I do. But the problem is, I think, again, this strategy of crafting a bill that attacks religious liberties but is under the mantle of contraception, I think it does a lot of damage to the Republican Party, because my goodness, the Republican Party has enough internal problems already. There are a lot of bad faith Republicans. I'm the first one to say that, but being against contraception is not a major party platform.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. My friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now. Without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. For only $49.99, become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminars Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 to 10 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before seminar.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This was only a test.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Busey's community focus takes us to Edwardsville in July. I'm joined by Steve Grant, Vice President and Busey Area Manager for Edwardsville, and a Rotarian to talk about the Busey Bank Rotary Criterium Festival, a fun biking event coming this summer. Listen to our July podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
Filing for Social Security could be one of the biggest financial decisions of your lifetime. Find out why with Your Retirement Professors. Saturday afternoons at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
Learn to swim this summer and stay cool with Swim On Foundation through group and private lessons. Schedule today. For information, go to swimonfoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
This is the show.
The show continues on KMOX.
All right, 11:49 on the show. Amy Marks, Kors, and Kevin Wheeler with you today. Rons will be back on Monday. So we're doing this back and forth between serious and having fun. It's Friday. I mean, we got to cover serious stuff. There's news, but also it's Friday, so I want to have a little bit of fun. This one's kind of in between. I don't think it's super serious, and I certainly don't take it super seriously, but I find it fascinating. And I sent you guys this story. I think it was I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but it's just about NASA having to release documents related to UFOs. Now, they don't call them UFOs anymore. They're called UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is now being much more acknowledged by the military, right? By NASA. They're admitting we're looking at it. We don't know what's going on. There are things that are happening that we can't explain. I want to make sure I read this last line of the story that I had very clearly. This is from Vice News, but this was a NASA official saying, quote, "There's no evidence UAPs are extraterrestrial in origin." And that's not really the point of the conversation for me anyway at this point. It's just that it's a fascinating topic to me because there's clearly something. Fighter pilots are seeing things. They're registering on instrumentation. There are investigations that have gone on with the Navy. There are former military officers that are coming out now and talking about what they saw and what the reaction was. And because of Freedom of Information Act requests, you're getting a lot of these documents. And the latest one was about how NASA it was about NASA's internal emails, them talking about how do we message this? How do we describe these things accurately? We don't want it to, they're not trying to, blow anything up. But it's weird that the last couple of years it's been less taboo to even acknowledge. I don't know that I have the why. The conspiracy community has the why. They're preparing us for the disclosure.
It's a cookbook.
Yeah.
It's a cookbook.
Yeah. I am definitely not that. But this is kind of in the realm of things that I'm really curious about. Like, I think there's an interesting, legitimate study. And then I didn't even know this was going to be there, but today there's a different story that the Pentagon is opening up essentially its own X-Files department. That they're going to study this phenomenon, that the Pentagon is doing this, which again is fascinating. But if you think about it, really, if there are things in the sky that cannot be explained, that, you know, in a scientific way or in a rational way, that is a threat. Even if it's not something that means any negative, you know, doesn't mean, even if it's not an intended threat, things that are in your airspace, around your military, around your Navy ships and your fighter jets that you don't know what it is, that's a major national security concern.
Oh, yeah. I do like the term unidentified aerial phenomenon because I think there probably is some stigma attached to UFO. Because, again, it's almost like we throw that around as if, you know, you're crazy. Like, oh, a UFO. I saw a UFO. And we always picture the guy in the field in Alabama or something going, me and my brother Clem saw a UFO. And so the unidentified aerial phenomenon, to me, acknowledges that it could also be a meteorological or scientific phenomenon.
Right.
So here's my question to you, Kevin Wheeler.
But it's aliens.
Well, that's... So I was going to say, $10 million. This is real, tax-free. $10 million if you're right. And I say, okay, Kevin, aliens?
Yep.
Or we can eventually explain that it's some type of atmospheric phenomenon, and you have to be right to get the 10 million.
Does it have to be atmospheric, or could it be another thing?
Well, I guess by atmospheric, I mean scientific, non-alien.
Well, there's another category maybe you'd include in that, but
What would that be?
there's also the possibility that it's just really advanced tech that the public doesn't know about. I mean, like, as an example, you go back to like the beginnings of like stealth fighters.
Yep.
If you had seen a stealth fighter in the air before it was public knowledge and the shape of it, the way you'd be like, that's a UFO.
Okay, so here's the three categories: alien, a meteorological atmospheric explanation,
right,
or military technology, and you're going to win $10 million if you're right.
I would go with the tech.
Yeah.
That would be to me
Like
the most
space lasers?
The most like space lasers with the Space Force. That would, to me, it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Now, what the pilots are reporting is activity from these particular sightings, these particular observations that do not match up with how we understand acceleration, deceleration, quickness of turning. Like, in other words, these things are making maneuvers that, if there was a person inside, would kill the person. That said, that doesn't mean there's a person inside.
Right.
We have drones, we have probes, we have all kinds of different types of tech that do not involve a person being in there. So again, if I'm betting, if I'm putting the $10 million on it, I'm not putting the $10 million on alien species that are here. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Pretty much my answer to every deep question is, I don't know. Like, if you ask me any deep thoughts question, I'm like, I don't know.
Which is
And
such
I'm
a
okay.
contradiction for being answered.
I know. Because the
Your
bigger the
slogan
issue,
is, I don't know.
Because the bigger the issue, I think the more certainty I need to buy it. A little fact that I can look up. All right, I get that. Like, what were we looking up earlier? The number of seats on a Boeing 737. Like, all right, I can look that up and see. Doesn't take a lot of convincing. But when it's something like this, where we don't have a concrete scientific answer, we don't have it. My answer is simply, I don't know. But if I don't know, then the most likely thing is something that we can at least comprehend.
Yep.
Something that we have experienced. And I think everybody, in fact, on the Glover show not long ago, they had somebody on talking about tech and how far ahead the military typically is of the general public.
How far ahead are they?
2 or 3 decades usually. Like, they're way ahead.
I was going to say like 5 years.
Yeah, no, way ahead. So if there's tech out there that we're getting, they knew about it, had it, studied it, produced it, made it 2 decades before it gets to the market.
Holy cow.
I mean, again, I don't have the dates in front of me, but if you were to like look up, the initial years, like the initial development stages of the stealth bombers, and it was 20 years before it was a publicly acknowledged thing.
By the way, one of the worst injuries I've ever had was the stealth bomber flew over my childhood home. And it's going to sound like it's a much more tragic injury. But, they're at Whiteman Air Force
You got
Base.
bombed?
Yeah. No, they're at Whiteman Air Force Base, and they would fly over my childhood home. And I had a basket full of laundry in my hands, and I could hear it coming. I thought, oh, my gosh, it's the stealth bomber. So I was trying to run out the door, and I opened the front door with one hand, The rug gets caught under the door. My foot goes under the rug, and I
Oh,
go
no.
flying like in a cartoon out the front door and land on the sidewalk several steps down. Missed the plane and hurt my knee.
That's not great. Sorry it happened to you.
Thank you, Wheels.
You're very welcome. All right, we're gonna take another shot at some of the top stories today when we come back here on the show.
Are you concerned about outliving your money? Well, how would you like to have guaranteed growth and a lifetime of income you may never outlive? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
So we were trying to come up with a title for this podcast. Let's have a shorter name that's catchier, that kind of speaks to you. And my wife, Gretchen, says, what about Hey Maine? Hey Maine. Hey Maine. So I gave in, just like I gave in when she wanted a cat. But I get to keep my subtitle, the Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. So it's Hey Maine, the Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. Get that wherever you get your podcasts. I think that's the tagline.
With Wholesale Formula Seminars, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
Hey, I'm Rick Manello. 2 years after attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was able to sell my Amazon business for over $400,000.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar to learn how to work from home while raising my son. Today, I do $175,000 in sales per month.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Hi, I'm Hillary. Before attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was a school teacher. Today, I work from home selling products on Amazon.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired or need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how. Only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Discover the easy way to make money on Amazon with Dylan Frost, the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
The homicide rate in St. Louis was the highest in the country last year.
One leader has taken on St. Louis politicians for failing to do enough to stop lawlessness and violent crime spreading toward us. Our Jefferson County Executive, Dennis Gannon. Dennis Gannon opposes the Liberals' dumb and dangerous plan to defund the police. Dennis supports greater funding for law enforcement to keep our neighborhoods and families safe. Since Biden won't build the wall and control the border, Dennis Gannon is working locally to stop illegal immigration here, ban sanctuary cities, and stop tax dollars going to illegal immigrants. Dennis Gannon's Strategic Jobs Initiative is focused on recruiting jobs away from China and bringing them home. And Dennis Gannon's a leader in transforming Jefferson County's Port Authority into a massive trade center to create jobs here. Conservative Dennis Gannon for Jefferson County Executive. Right for our future.
Paid for by Gannon for Jefferson County.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 12 noon, we have sunny skies, 91 degrees downtown of the Our Time. Stuart McMillan, our top story this hour. The heat wave rolls on through the weekend.
We're going to kind of go into supercharged mode here, it looks like, as we go into the weekend itself. We fell short of 100 yesterday, but I think we go over that mark today. Humidity's moderate, but it really surges then as we get into tomorrow, and we expect a high of about 104. The record tomorrow is 108, back to 1934. Still probably 100 again on Sunday, and then some thunderstorms come in.
A heat advisory is in effect until 8 Sunday night. Dean DeVore will have a complete forecast shortly. It was another primetime January 6th hearing last night going after former President Donald Trump for his involvement with the Capitol riot. It was the last of the hearings on the topic for the summer.
The dam has begun to break.
Vice Chair Liz Cheney says more doors have opened, more subpoenas issued. And as the panel's work continues, every American has to consider this.
Can a president who is willing to make the choices Donald Trump made during the violence of January 6th ever be trusted with any position of authority.
While Chairman Benny Thompson notes the panel cannot make criminal charges.
There needs to be accountability.
Merrick Garland's Justice Department is watching.
We have to get this right.
The Attorney General calls it his department's most wide-ranging and most important investigation ever. Cheney says the committee will keep pushing on its own.
And we will see you all in September.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
President Biden's doctors say his COVID symptoms have improved, although he did have a fever at 99.4 degrees just last night. While we have heat, CBS correspondent Jim Krasula has details of deadly storms in the Deep South and northern New England.
A 3-month-old and an 11-month-old were killed when a tree fell onto their home during a severe storm in Birmingham, Alabama. Fire Battalion Chief Sebastian Carrillo.
It's in the back of the house, and it's completely severed his house in two on the backside. So it was an extremely large tree.
3 others were hurt, including an 11-year-old. A 9-year-old girl was killed in the storm when a tree fell on a car at a campground in Standish, Maine. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol has identified a drowning victim from Franklin County.
65-year-old Lawrence Crumray of Chesterfield capsized his kayak in the Merrimack River. Troopers say Crumray went underwater and did not resurface. The drowning happened downstream of River Round access. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
Waterloo is where a helicopter crashed this morning. It happened near Mockingbird Lane. Fox 2 says some good news. The pilot was able to get up and walk away from that crash. This news brought to you by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. From the First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, it's another step forward for crypto. California will soon allow candidates for state and local offices accept cryptocurrency campaign contributions. The donations will have to be immediately converted to U.S. dollars. 12 states plus Washington, D.C. allow cryptocurrency campaign contributions in some form or fashion. Right now on the roadway, stalled vehicle I-55 southbound to Gasconade Street. Be prepared to stop there. Stalled vehicle on I-170 southbound. That's before Delmar Boulevard. The right lane is closed right now. There's a crash, 141 southbound past Fielder Lane. The left shoulder is having an impact. Emergency vehicles at 55 southbound at Butler Hill Road. The right lane is closed right now. Your weather for today.
KMOX AccuWeather, a hot afternoon within a few degrees of 100 with mostly sunny skies. We're looking at mainly clear, very warm conditions tonight, low 80s. Heat advisories through the weekend. We'll get up to 104 tomorrow, still near 100 on Sunday. Some thunderstorm pop-ups, and then we should break the heat wave and stay in the upper 80s on Monday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Right now in St. Peter's, 92 degrees, 90 degrees in Florissant, and 91 degrees downtown at the Arch with a sunny sky. I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
All right, it's 12:04 on the show. Amy Mark scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Our good friend Chris Ranji. We'll be back on Monday. What kind of torture are we going to subject him to on Monday?
Okay.
Should we just team up on him and both of us give him a hard time? Because usually we trade punches, all three of us.
Right.
Like we're always kind of like messing with each other.
Well,
Should we just gang up on him on
yeah,
Monday?
because I think it's like a pinball machine since he hasn't been here, right? It's like it's building up.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten his shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
We
maybe
gotta
do
give
that.
him a hard time.
All right, we'll do that on Monday. All right, so at 12 o'clock on most days, we kind of go back over some of the top stories of the day. And one of the things, we did our trending segment sponsored by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. We did the or at least mentioned all the memes with Josh Hawley running from the Capitol. And again, some of it's like ironic, funny because, you know, you're playing to the crowd of people on January 6th. You're showing solidarity with them and then later on running from them. And I'm not saying that running from someone when you're in legitimate fear for your life is funny. It's not. The funny part, the ironic part is the transition from one to the other. And of course, now it's turned into the like what's the meme, like, oh, how it was going then and how it's going now, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, kind of an odd thing. That wasn't, to me though, that wasn't even nearly one of the most impactful things from last night.
No, it
was just kind of
wasn't.
a side thing.
And you know how things go viral whenever something is the most like a reality TV show, people kind of glom onto it, whether it was the
Yeah,
Trump and
yeah.
the steering wheel in the limo,
Yep.
which of course is shocking, but it's not the most important thing. And with Hawley, him running away, it was easy to make it memeable. If it's memeable, it's going to take off. And so they had the video of Hawley running and put it to, I don't know, 10, 15 different songs, whether it's Chariots of Fire or Run DMC song. And I guess my initial reaction was not to laugh when I saw that video because it was such a horrific day in our country's history. I understand the irony. You had Josh Hawley raising his fist, and then he is raising his fist, I should say, outside the Capitol.
Showing support for those people.
For all of the protesters. Then you have him running for safety inside the Capitol. And then after that's over, he makes coffee mugs with, his fist being raised in the air. And he talks about being
Which is meant to be a
brave.
symbol of strength.
A
Right?
symbol
It's
of strength.
solidarity. We're going to show our strength. We're going to show our power.
You-
and then
Yeah.
then those same people that you're trying to show solidarity with, though, scare you.
Scare you, your own safety. You're
And
running for
legitimately,
your
by
own
the way.
safety. Yes. Yeah. Because things were out of control. So I get that. It just mainly depresses me because everything that happened on that day was depressing. And then it's also depressing that our own Missouri senator is just acting so flagrantly duplicitous about that day when raising his fist in solidarity, then running from them. That enough is bad enough, because what he could have said was, I didn't expect it to get violent.
Yeah.
I wanted to show them support, but my goodness, I do not condone this violence. But then after the fact, to capitalize on the raised fist moment is just gross.
Yeah.
It just is.
I have a problem in general with people that like to talk tough,
Mhm.
but then they don't back it up. And I'm not saying he should sit there and fight people or anything like that. You just have to acknowledge the look. If you're going to play the role of a tough guy, then be the tough guy. A lot of friends of mine, our friend Chris Duncan, his whole thing about things like that would be, don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're going to be that, be that. Don't be one thing in one scenario, and then as soon as the crap hits the fan, you're out of there.
And who doesn't, they don't brag about their bravery or their integrity or their honesty, but you see it every day, would be someone like a Liz Cheney or a Mitt Romney that are just consistent in their beliefs.
And obviously they get hammered for it, of course.
Yeah.
And they know that. I think that's part of why it is, in some ways, even if you disagree with them, that is an admirable trait, to know you're going to get hammered, but to do what you think is right anyway.
Yeah. And I think there's something grotesque, and both sides obviously do it. I know people don't like the phrase both sides,
No, but
both Republicans and Democrats pander to their bases in the
For
same
sure.
way that
Yep.
Fox News panders to its base
Yeah.
and MSNBC panders to its base. I'm really not a fan of pandering.
No, I'm also not a big fan of just trying to rile up people that already agree with you. Right? I mean, like, to me, the definition of what a politician should be is being able to make your case and explain your philosophy in a way that makes other people eventually agree with you, even if they don't agree with you right away. It's not about forcing your views on the other side, on the enemy. It's not about tricking them. That's what I don't like, what we were talking about in the last hour. I don't like sliding in provisions into some bill that maybe are going to be unpopular, and you just kind of like stick it in there because you're hoping that enough people will vote based on the pressure of what the primary issue is. They don't want to be seen as being against something. Like, if we can't convince each other of what we're trying to do legitimately, and we're just going to play these kinds of games where you're manipulating people, that's why it's broken. This is why most people, when they give their opinions about the effectiveness of Congress, the job that politicians in general are doing, it's why most people give them a failing grade. And when I say them, I don't mean one party or the other, because if you ask the public, polling has been consistent about this. Nobody's happy with the job that legislators are doing.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying, yeah, they're all doing a great job. I love it. People tend to like their own person that they voted for, but they don't like anybody else. They're like, oh, the system's broken. That's one of the reasons why, because we've gone past doing our best to convince people of things and making the strongest case to convince the American people that we're right or that we're more right on a particular issue. Now it's about games. It's playing people's emotions. It's manipulating people. It's forcing things in where you may not have the support for some specific thing, but you're going to wiggle it in somewhere else because you might be able to sneak something through. Let's not sneak things through anymore.
That's like the name of the game.
I know.
Sneaking things through. And in case people are wondering, yesterday the House passed the Right to Contraception Act. It was 228 to 195. And Nancy Pelosi to AOC are positing that 195 Republicans are, according to Pelosi, don't want birth control for women, but they want to control women. And that's just not true. There were provisions in the bill that many Republicans pushed back against. I would think that the primary one being the bill explicitly, it is listed out, the bill explicitly overrides the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. I won't go through all the other provisions. If you want to hear it, 11:30 on the Odyssey app. You can rewind it. It's also on the podcast.
Yep.
But the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, that would also override the Supreme Court decision from the Little Sisters of the Poor, a group of nuns who didn't want to provide abortifacients.
Which is interesting that that's a real thing. But the name, because everybody in sports, when your team plays a weak opponent, they say you're playing the Little Sisters of the Poor.
Oh, yeah, no, they're real.
Yeah, they're real.
So there's a provision. So again, AOC tweeted yesterday that, quote, this was not a gotcha bill with a bunch of stuff in it, by the way. It was pretty straightforward. Well, that's just not true. There were a lot of gotcha moments because now the Republicans are portrayed very poorly because on face value, it definitely looks like they're all against contraception, and that's just not true. And I'll be the first to admit, there are a lot of bad faith Republicans out there who probably have beliefs that they're being aggressive with that just are not along the lines of democracy and Representative Republican, all of that. But overall, the Republican Party is not against contraception, and many of the Republicans who voted against this bill proposed their own bills to make contraception more available. So it's interesting, just the games that are constantly being played. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you, Wheels. This naming bills, things like the right to contraception, or as I said, the don't kick puppies bill. That's an old game. Remember the Patriot Act?
Yes.
And that's what
and
all
think
that
of all the
surveillance.
scary things were in there. Yeah.
But how can you vote against?
How can you vote against patriotism? You're right. It's exactly the same idea.
After 9/11, you name it the Patriot Act, and that's when we found out all of these rights that were being violated and the surveillance and what have you. But you can't vote against the Patriot Act.
We do this with military operations too, right? It's not the war in Iraq; it's Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like you do it in marketing, right? It happens in regular life. A product will tell you a certain thing, or you name a product something that sounds fantastic.
You buy wheat thins. Would you buy wheat fats?
Yes. Absolutely. They would taste better. And actually, wheat thins are good. I think wheat fats would taste better.
Chunky wheat.
Whatty?
Chunky wheats.
Chunky wheats? Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
You could be the spokesperson.
If you were
for
honest
Chunky
about
Wheats.
those things and said, listen, man, it's going to make you fat, but it tastes great.
That's why-
Most people are, no, we know. We know.
That's why Jerry Seinfeld gives credit to Cookie Crisp. They just
What
put it
it
out
is.
there. It's cookies.
You want cookies for cereal? Here you go. You got cookies for cereal. I agree with you, and I agree with Jerry Seinfeld. All right, coming up next, we're going to be talking a bit about dynamic pricing, but not in sports this time. Dynamic ticket pricing. Some of these numbers are pretty crazy. We'll get to that next up on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
With Wholesale Formula Seminar, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar, and I'm now doing $175,000 in sales per month.
Hey everyone, Ryan and Karen Pottiger here.
Because of the Wholesale Formula, last year we ran our business while we traveled to and lived in 4 different countries.
Hey, Emric Manello. 2 years after attending the Wholesale Formula seminar, I was able to sell my Amazon business for over $400,000.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired or need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Discover the easy way to make money on Amazon with Dylan Frost plus the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
We've all heard the quote before. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. We send career politicians or people with no life experience to the Capitol, and we get more waste, more spending, and more excuses.
August 2nd is your chance to send businessman and community leader Bob Jones to the state Senate. Bob Jones isn't running to be a career politician. He's already had his career. Bob Jones and his brother ran J&W Cycles for nearly 40 years. Bob Jones understands that families and small businesses can't survive with Biden's out-of-control inflation and Democrats wasting our tax dollars. Bob knows that to keep our communities safe, we must fully fund our police. He's been endorsed by Missouri Right to Life and has the highest possible rating from the NRA. And as a businessman, Bob Jones knows that we need to be making products right here in America, not in China.
No more waste. Control the spending. No more excuses.
Paid for by Bob Jones for Senate.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Live and local, this is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
All right, you're in on the show on KMOX. Amy Marskors, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Chris Rons will be back on Monday. I don't remember when it was exactly, Amy. It might have been a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about dynamic pricing. We had, I believe we had at that time, we had either a voicemail or somebody on the text line. And you're welcome to chime in on this topic of dynamic ticket pricing as we dive into the topic at 314-436-7900.
Well, we had talked about dynamic pricing because of the worst opinion piece of all time in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch that was talking about how ticket prices to Cardinal games is un-American because it's more expensive to go to a Cubs game than it would be Cards and the Pirates or something.
Nothing is more American than capitalism,
That's
which
right.
is what that is, right? I mean, like it's kind of our identity as a nation, capitalism. But yeah, right. There was a column in the Post-Dispatch that was essentially ripping the team because they're saying this. The argument was it's the same experience no matter who you're playing, which everybody who follows sports knows is just nonsense. It is not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The teams with the bigger stars or the teams with better histories or the teams that you have a rivalry with do have a different atmosphere. You do want to go see Aaron Judge when the Yankees come in. You want to see the Cubs because it's the Cubs. They don't carry the same weight as the Pirates. So there's dynamic ticket pricing in sports, and it's not uncommon at all. It's actually a pretty regular thing.
It's not uncommon, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing because maybe if you want to take advantage of a team that's not as popular and you want to get a cheaper ticket price, I think that's great. And it's still a baseball game. You're still seeing the Cardinals. You can still see a great game.
Now, if you're 6 years old, there's probably more likelihood that you're fine with whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But,
that was like a low key. That's a great point, Amy. I think a lot of 6-year-olds would agree with you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You got to pay attention. Damn it, Amy. I'm saying that the point that the columnist was making, if you wanted to say from a 6-year-old's perspective, seeing the Pirates is no different than the Yankees, it probably isn't because they just care about the Cardinals and the popcorn and the cotton candy and seeing Fredbird when you're little. But to anybody that's of any age, these things matter. That's why the dynamic ticket pricing exists, and you can take advantage of it or be taken advantage of if you want to, but it's ultimately your choice.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we're bringing this up now is this is making its way into the music industry. And Ticketmaster is using dynamic ticket pricing for, say, the Bruce Springsteen tour. So regular face value tickets based on supply and demand, these things adjust apparently in real time based on demand. The ticket prices are based on demand. There are face value ticket prices for Bruce Springsteen that are $4,000.
Okay, I want to clarify here because I had to ask you multiple questions about this earlier. We know that whether it's, we talked about this earlier, Harry Styles or Coldplay, I guess if you're a big Coldplay fan or Bruce Springsteen, that big bands, big acts are going to have a higher ticket premium. So you look at Ticketmaster, there are the prices, right? If it's Harry Styles, the demand is high, so the tickets are all expensive. And that's that. And oh, wow, the only tickets left are the $400 tickets. However, you're saying that I could see the ticket prices set through Ticketmaster, not third party, buy a ticket for maybe $120. And if the demand goes up over those 2 days, that same ticket I bought for $120 could be $300.
Yeah.
They don't normally do that, do they?
Well, that's what it's kind of a new thing because you could be the other end of it. You could spend $500 and 2 days later it could be $300.
Because that's how it works on StubHub, right? When it's a third party, we know the prices go up and down.
Yeah.
I didn't know Ticketmaster did
Again,
this.
it's a relatively new thing, and that's why it's interesting because it is new. And here's the way it was described in the Yahoo story that explains this. So it's for the Bruce Springsteen tour. It said some of the floor seats rose to $4,000 due to the Ticketmaster dynamic pricing system, which adjusts the price in real time due to demand. So you could click on it now, and 10 minutes from now, it could be more or less if you don't make the purchase. So there's some incentive to get it. If you think it's a good price, it's kind of like, it's almost like the stock market. Like, can I get it at a good price, then buy it? And if it goes down, well, I took the risk. And if it goes up, well, maybe I end up benefiting in the end. And in the end, this is what happens anyway. This is just cutting out the middleman.
Yeah.
I feel like this is almost a counterbalance to the secondary ticket market, because if the demand is super high, there's a lot, and these prices end up at $4,000 a seat. There's a lot of people, like, say, ticket brokers. You think they're going to take the chance on spending $4,000 on a ticket that they might not make money on? You might take that chance at $100 or $200, because if you lose money, you lose a few bucks. But I think maybe that's their response to this, because in some cases, those tickets end up being sold for that anyway, right?
Right. Well, and that was my point that's what I was thinking. When you buy through Ticketmaster, you know what price you're going to pay, period.
And the fees and all that.
That's exactly right. And then with StubHub, it's like, do I buy it through Ticketmaster and have a guaranteed price, or do I risk that over so many days at StubHub, the price will drop or conversely go up? That was the whole StubHub factor.
Right. So the whole secondary ticket marketplace is about this.
Mm-hmm.
The prices can be whatever the person that's selling them wants them to be, and they can pull the listing and post it at a new price. You can do whatever you want until there's an official sale. So let's say, for example, that the most expensive Bruce Springsteen ticket sold at Ticketmaster was $500.
Mm-hmm.
But the secondary market showed that there was enough demand for somebody to charge $5,000 for it. It ends up being the same kind of idea, except it's cutting out that middleman. It's cutting out the secondary marketplace, because those tickets most likely will sell for that amount anyway. And this way, more of that money goes, I would think, to the artists, right? Because
they usually get a percentage.
Right. Ticketmaster has a deal with the artists, and I don't know if they're different. I don't know exactly how it works. But the artists make a certain percentage of that ticket sale. Well, they get nothing in the secondary market.
Right.
They get nothing from that. They get the original price that it was sold for through the box office or through Ticketmaster or whatever ticketing service they choose to work with. Some people use Live Nation, for example.
Now, the example you gave was $4,000
for Bruce Springsteen.
For Bruce Springsteen. And that's a true scenario. That's not a hypothetical.
No, that's what it said. It said that the demand for the tickets on the floor have raised prices to more than $4,000.
So I want to know, who wants to pay $4,000 to see Bruce Springsteen?
The same people that use their private jets to fly 3 minutes instead of driving 40 minutes.
Is it? I don't see.
I mean, that's a lot. You got to have a lot of money if you're going to be like, yeah, I've seen the boss 27 times, but I'm willing to spend $4,000 again.
I think Bruce Springsteen is the most overrated performer.
The most?
one of the most.
Boy, I don't know.
In
I mean,
America.
I'm not a big Springsteen fan. Again, little too
Santa Claus is coming to town.
little too
Worst
light for
song
my
ever.
tastes. A little too light for my tastes. But I think he's a really good performer. I would go see him, but I certainly wouldn't pay that.
I think he's, in the words of Ranj, a boring.
He's a boring. Well, I mean, but you like Amy Grant.
Okay, first of all, rude. Okay, well, thought we were friends. Amy Grant is an American icon. She's a performer. No one can listen to Baby Baby and not nod their head along and sing. No, I'm not a big fan of The Boss.
I will say this. This I think is a true statement. People that are men that are my age and a little bit older, men between like say their mid 40s and their mid 60s, like Bruce Springsteen way too much.
They do.
I think he's legitimately a rock legend. I think he is legitimately a Hall of Famer and all of that. But
Yeah.
I mean, the devotion is a bit much.
Yeah. And then they keep going to see him.
I get that. I go to
Really?
see artists sometimes. Yeah.
What's the most you've ever seen
Oh.
an artist?
I probably no more than like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But that's mostly because of opportunity and not because of a lack of desire. I'm a busy man. I don't always have time to go. But I'll tell you this, if my favorite band came through town every year, I'd probably see them every year.
I don't know. I just really love. I only act on opportunity, but not lack of desire.
Dave Glover, never afraid to share an opinion.
I don't think that any group or person or candidate or party gets to claim we're the patriots or we love our country and you don't.
Ready to discuss issues.
We really need to have an honest conversation about that.
The Dave Glover Show. News, information, great talk, and so much more.
So if you're sick of listening to people fight about politics, if you just want to have a good time in the afternoon, give me a shot.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Busey's community focus takes us to Edwardsville in July. I'm joined by Steve Grant, Vice President and Busey Area Manager for Edwardsville, and a Rotarian to talk about the Busey Bank Rotary Criterium Festival, a fun biking event coming this summer. Listen to our July podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 314-946-9999. We also are real estate agents, and a lot of times when people call, they want options, retail or wholesale directly to me. But we are listing property as real estate agents. So if you want to sell your house and you're not sure which route you want to go, we can provide you an option when you're selling. Clayman Group is where you can go. 314-946-9999. Call today so we can talk about options.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At 12:30, we have clear skies, sunny skies at that. 93 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan. Here's what's happening. 3 are dead after a shooting at a state park in eastern Iowa. Police say the suspected shooter is dead. It happened at the Mokukuda Caves State Park campground. This happened before 7 o'clock this morning. You ain't nothing but a outlaw. The singer who played Big Mama Thornton in this year's Elvis Presley movie has died. Police say it happened in Nashville at her home. It's Shanka Dakura, who was found dead in her bedroom. She was 44 years old. And no foul play, police say. Jake Carney is the latest to leave Amazon. He was the top policy and communications executive for the company and one-time White House spokesman. Carney has been named the head of policy for Airbnb. Jurors in the Steve Bannon's contempt of Congress trial have begun to deliberate the fate of the longtime Donald Trump ally. Bannon is charged with 2 counts of criminal contempt for refusing to appear before the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. Stalled vehicle. This is at 370 westbound before 141. The right shoulder has a problem there. Stalled vehicle 64 westbound past McKnight. And the shoulder is where that is happening as well. Stalled vehicle I-170 northbound, but that's past I-64 at the right shoulder. Weather for today, it's going to be hot, a few degrees within 100. Heat and hot this afternoon, that's for sure. Low of 82 tonight. Tomorrow, high of 104. The record is 108, set back in 1934. Very sunny, very hot. For Sunday, again, a high of 100. St. Peter's, right now it's 93, and Flores at 92. In downtown to the Arch, we have 92 degrees, sunny skies, and clear. I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
So we were trying to come up with a title for this podcast. Let's have a shorter name that's catchier, that kind of speaks to you. And my wife, Gretchen, says, what about Hey Maine? Hey Maine. Hey Maine. So I gave in, just like I gave in when she wanted a cat. But I get to keep my subtitle, the Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. So it's Hey Maine, the Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. Get that wherever you get your podcasts. I think that's the tagline.
Plain talk from our true constitutional conservative voice, Mary Elizabeth Coleman.
We have to stop the crazy liberal agenda of defunding the police. We need more support for law enforcement. Give them the tools to stop violent crime, illegal immigration, and the cartels from flooding our state with their illegal drugs.
Mary Elizabeth Coleman opposes all taxpayer funding for illegal immigrants and will fight to cut state funding to cities that give sanctuary to illegal immigrants.
Biden's open border policy has brought fentanyl to our neighborhoods. Thousands of Missourians are dying as a result. Missouri should join the other states and send our National Guard troops to the border, if that's what it takes to keep our families safe.
True constitutional conservative Mary Elizabeth Coleman supports a Parents' Bill of Rights, is pro-jobs, A-rated by the NRA, and the only one in this state Senate race endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. Paid for by friends of Mary Elizabeth Coleman.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sundays at 10:15 on Sports Open Line. And Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club, but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX.
The pitch by Ueno. Albert is hit high and deep. A home run for Harrison Bader. Yadier Molina has homered. Double play. It's a big fly for Albert Pujols. And a home run in the first inning for Goldie.
This is the Redbirds Report.
All right, time for the Redbird Report. Cardinals are back at it. The slowest time in the sports calendar is now behind us. All-Star Week is super slow. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing going on really in football during that time. You don't have, NBA and NHL are both in their off seasons. The All-Star Week is usually the slowest week for sports dudes. A little less slow for me this year. I'm gonna lie. New responsibilities. I got a lot of learning to do.
Lots of
learning, dude. I didn't know it actually All-Star Week went by fast for me this year, and it never is like that. Normally, you're like, what am I going to talk about? I guess I'll talk about Juan Soto rumors 18 times in a row.
Yeah, the news never stops, bud.
I know. For me, it's like, no, don't have time to worry about that. Let's go. Something else to read. Got to keep up with Amy. Sinking reading.
Here's another reason why it goes by quickly for you, because folks, like we always joke that the show never stops. We're always chatting and planning.
Doesn't.
But you also coach serious baseball. I don't know when you sleep. Coaching is, it's awesome. I love that you do it, but it takes a ton of time to coach. I probably half our audience knows from like coaching soccer, hockey, baseball. It takes a long time.
Yeah, but I like it. So
yeah,
it's part of my fun time. It's work though, especially in the heat. It's work.
Were
but
you
other
out
than
there
that,
for 6 hours yesterday?
No, well, the kids were like that long. They were out there like 1 o'clock until we wrapped up. We wrapped up. No, they were out there before that. They were out there probably by 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, about 12 till 6 for them. I didn't get there till after the show. So
yeah,
it was more like 4.5 hours.
You'll be coaching tomorrow?
Tonight.
Tonight
and tomorrow.
Nice.
Love it.
Good.
It's awesome. It's going to be hot, but, I got ice towels already ready to go in a cooler. I've got everybody covered.
And last question, because then we'll move on. Are you Coach Wheeler or Coach Wheels?
Depends. Mostly Coach Wheeler.
Yeah.
But, depends on the age of the player. Some of the older guys, they just call me, a lot of them just call me by my first name, which is kind of cool because they're grown men now.
Kevin?
Yeah.
I don't even call you Kevin.
No, nobody calls me that, really. They just Wheels. Yeah. It is. Seriously, the only people that call me Kevin are like my mom, my dad, my wife.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, nobody else. All right, so Cardinals and Reds tonight, 5:40 for the first pitch tonight. Adam Wainwright starts for the Cardinals. Graham Ashcraft is going to make the start for the Reds. We have all of the coverage starting here at 4:45 today. Oh, that's why Glover's got the time to join us at 1:45 today, because he gets off early today. That's it. That's why we finally get the little crossover, because we get down early. By the way, Dave's going to jump in for a few minutes toward the end of the show at 1:45 in the lead up to DGS. So, again, Cardinals begin the second half today, and they're in Cincinnati. They're on the road until the All-Star break. They don't get back. There's not another home game here for about a week and a half. So, and a nice little road trip starting in Cincinnati and hopefully pick up where they left off before the break when they were beating the Cincinnati Reds at Busch Stadium.
All right, you talked about the price of going to a Cardinals game, and really, we've been talking about the prices of a lot of things. So we have, I believe it's The Hustle, lists out the cost, the average cost for a family of 4 to go to a baseball game. And what they include in this cost is 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 2 beers, 2 sodas, and parking. So it's the whole experience.
That's okay.
Minus merch.
We'll get into the details on that.
Okay. So what do you think is the most, and you probably know, but let's say the top 3 most expensive ballparks for a family of 4?
Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium, and Fenway Park.
You have 2 of the 3.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees. Boston is 1. New York Yankees are 3.
Oh, really?
The Chicago Cubs.
The Cubs, yeah.
At 2.
It's amazing. Like, it just doesn't matter if they're bad.
Yeah.
Although part of it is capacity, right? Because one of the reasons that Fenway is more expensive because it's one of the smallest. It might be the smallest park in baseball, and Wrigley is small. They have really light. They don't have a high maximum attendance. They can't fit as many as say you can at Busch Stadium or at Yankee Stadium. So demand's a little higher because there are fewer seats to sell.
Yep. So with Boston, the average for that experience that I described is $324.
That doesn't sound that bad to me.
Yeah, in Chicago,
that's for the whole family.
For the whole family.
That's not per person.
No. That's total.
Right.
Parking, 2 beer, 2 sodas, 4 hot dogs, 4 tickets. All right.
And those are average tickets, right? So we're not talking about 5 rows from the dugout. We're also not talking nosebleeds. Those would be somewhere in the middle ground.
Yeah. So $312 is the average price for Chicago. How much do you think that experience costs on average for the St. Louis Cardinals?
I'd probably say something in like the 270 range, 260 range.
So the Cardinals are at number 10, and we draw a line here, $208.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So
I mean, again,
they're almost $100 cheaper,
and
over $100 cheaper.
So I mean, that's actually pretty good when you're considering the amount of time, because you're getting essentially a 4-hour experience depending on when you get there. But you're getting 3 hours of game time. So if you just count 3 hours of live entertainment, and in the case of a lot of these teams like the Red Sox, Yankees, Cardinals, you're also seeing a good team.
Yep.
It's not like you're seeing a bad product on a regular basis. You wouldn't want to pay $50 a person to go see Detroit. They're bad, right? I mean, you want to see, if you're seeing a good team, you're generally going to be happy with that. See, $50 a person, counting all of those things doesn't sound bad at all.
No, it doesn't. And again, so the Cardinals are number 10 at $208. If you average out all major league teams, the average experience is $204. So the Cardinals are right there, smack dab in the middle. I was a little surprised that number 4, so right after the Yankees, but 2 above the Dodgers, were the Houston Astros. The Astros are pretty expensive, almost $300. Okay, who do you think the bottom dwellers are? We can do the bottom 3.
Oh, the Marlins are going to be at the bottom, if not the bottom.
They're second to last. Yep.
Marlins, let's see. Trying to think off the Reds are probably down near the bottom. They may not be the bottom team, but they're probably, the Pirates are going to be down there.
The Pirates are the 3rd. Yep, you've got 2 of the bottom 3. The very, very last bottom one. And if you give up, I can tell you.
I give up.
Arizona Diamondbacks.
Really?
Really?
I'm a little surprised at that.
So third worst or third cheapest is Pittsburgh Pirates, then the Marlins, and then the cheapest is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And again, largely teams that have not been very good lately,
Mhm.
right? So the more the lower quality the product, the lower the ticket prices become, which is, by the way, how things work. Right?
Which is how
I mean, if
things
you have a
work.
really great product that's in high demand, it's going to cost more than a mediocre or bad product that's not in demand.
Yeah.
It's not a complicated thing.
Okay.
But I mean, I think this is not about like, well, the Cardinals are a value. It's not that. But like, I don't view 3 hours of live entertainment for $50 a head being that big of a deal. And you can easily do it for a lot less than that.
Mhm.
You don't have to get 4 hot dogs, 4 drinks, 2 beers, and all that. I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't do much of that at the ballpark. My dad would take us to games, and our deal was we're going to stop at McDonald's on the way.
Yep.
You can get what you want at McDonald's, get your cheeseburgers and fries and get filled up. At the game, maybe we'll get a drink because it's hot. We'll get something to drink, and then we're good.
Yeah.
And that was a way of basically saving about 60% of the cost, right? Because you can eat before you go for a lot less than you will at the ballpark.
Well, and I think before COVID, up until COVID, they allowed you to bring soft coolers into the ballpark.
Yeah, you can bring sandwiches. You could bring in, yeah, absolutely. So, there are ways around that. You could probably get that down if you wanted to $120 for a family of 4.
Yeah, you could get it way down. Okay.
And by the way, it wouldn't be a lot more expensive or a lot less expensive to go to a movie.
Oh my gosh, I
If you
think
go to do
movies
the-
are way too expensive.
They are, but if you were to go do the same thing, right? All right, so we're going to get 4 tickets, 2 adults, 2 children, and a bucket of popcorn, a couple of candies, and then drinks for everybody. I mean, you're $100.
My brother and his fiance,
Easy. That's probably low.
they take advantage of, I think it's $5 Tuesdays.
Yep.
Okay, you're
I
not
do it all the time.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Yep.
That's a steal, especially if you accidentally have some candy or something in your purse or your
And
pocket.
this is kind of the point, right? You can do that at a ball game too.
Mhm.
Take advantage of the dynamic ticket pricing. If you want to go see the Pirates, you could probably get $10 tickets on a lot of those things. If you pick the right day, you can get them on the secondary market for way below face value. And not just Cardinals, but pretty much any sporting event, depending on the demand for that game. There are plenty of ways to get deals. Teams are always all teams are putting deals out. It's a little less easy to get deals on a hockey ticket. Fewer games.
Hockey is so expensive.
Fewer games, so they're going to charge more.
Yeah.
Football tickets are way more expensive. Basketball tickets, NBA tickets are really expensive because, again, you don't have as many seats. You don't have as many games. So, again, there's more demand for the product. But baseball is generally, of all the professional sports, the best deal.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I love that. Okay, this is actually a Cardinals question before I know we're going to wrap this up quickly. I don't know if you have an answer, but I think it was
I'm an answer man.
Mo, of course you are, speaking on Sports Open Line, John Mozeliak for the Cardinals, kind of referencing the injuries that the team has had to deal with. And when you take that in perspective and where they could be moving forward, do you feel good about where the Cardinals are?
It could be better, but I'm not like worried.
Yeah.
I think they're plenty good to make the run and win the division. And they're not, the reason why I don't want to get too much into despite injuries and all of that, it's because Milwaukee's had them too. Milwaukee's had their share of problems. Some of their pitchers have been in and out of the lineup. They've been hurt at times. I don't think that's unique to the Cardinals. It maybe has hit them a little harder in some ways, but Milwaukee has missed some of their most important guys at times too. But I do think they're in a good spot. And if they can shore up the rotation, they might win this division by 4 or 5 games. Keyword there, though, is might. And the hard part there is getting healthy or making the deal to solidify that rotation.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep. We have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Why does it seem like every time I go to the gas station, it cleans out my wallet?
Well, you can thank John Weeman for that. He voted to pass a gas tax increase last year when he could have stopped it in committee.
Really? Why would Weeman do that?
John Weeman will probably try to blame Putin for gas prices like Joe Biden did. But I'm sure some lobbyists told him the gas tax needed to pass. He's not a real conservative. He just does what he's told. Now he's trying to take away resources that could help crisis pregnancy centers.
Is it any wonder Missouri Right to Life PAC didn't endorse him? John Weeman's too wishy-washy. We need someone who'll stand up and fight for us in the state Senate. Somebody like Nick Schroer. Nick Schroer sponsored the law to end abortions in Missouri. He's A+ rated by the NRA, and he helped pass the Second Amendment Preservation Act.
I'm Nick Schroer, and I won't back down when our way of life and our conservative values are on the line. Paid for by friends of Nick Schroer.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman again with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 946-9999. We're locally and family owned, and we bought over 50 properties this year. A lot of times people are looking to sell their property as is, and maybe they've talked to another investor and didn't get a good offer, and we came in and made a better offer. Because of our economies of scale, we can usually pay more than all other investors in town and provide probably one of the strongest offers you'll get. Reach out to us today, KLAMEN Group.com or 314-946-9999.
Are you concerned about higher taxes, soaring inflation, and what's next for the stock market? Don't miss Your Retirement Professors this Saturday afternoon at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
Jay Leno and Jeff Foxworthy, two legends, one historic night. Friday, November 18th, the Fabulous Fox. Tickets are on sale now at metrotix.com.
Did you know that one of the health benefits of swimming lessons is burning more calories than jogging while providing ease on your joints? SwimOnFoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444. They're back.
Three best friends. The three amigos. Yeah.
Kevin, Chris, and Amy. The show.
All right, it's a show on KMOX. AB Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Ron will be back on Monday. I think we all agree. I think we all do. The three of us are pretty much big nerds,
Yes.
but in different ways and about different things. I've had this. This is my philosophy, Amy, like my serious philosophy. Everybody's a nerd about something.
Sure.
Even the coolest person on earth is a nerd about something.
Mhm.
I remember I did this bit like it's probably almost 20 years ago when I was doing Sporting News Radio. We did it on the overnights, and we were like, I was having people challenge me as to like the most cool, famous people and say they're not nerds. And I'd be like, nope. Jack Nicholson collects bottle caps. He's a nerd. Like it was all the coolest people. You could find something nerdy about every single person if you just look.
Is that true? Does Jack Nicholson?
I don't remember.
collect
I
bottle caps?
made that up now, but
Oh.
I mean but there was something weird. Like everybody has weird hobbies or interests, right? Well, I'm a super nerd about all things Lord of the Rings, all things Tolkien. I'm really excited about the new show coming out in September. And I click on anything that's trending on that on Twitter. So if I see an ad, I click on it. If I see it's trending somewhere, I click on it. And I clicked on it just during this last break, and I found that there's an ice cream maker called Salt and Straw. I guess
Okay.
they're based out of Portland. They're one of the ice cream people, like those ice cream things that do really, really odd flavors.
Okay, yeah.
Like
yeah.
if you go to their main page, they are selling quote unquote culinary perfume. They're calling it an edible fragrance.
Like you spray it
I
into
don't
your
know.
mouth?
It looks like it. It looks like you spray it on things. And it's next to ice cream. So maybe you spray it on ice cream, but they're in perfume bottles. And there's one that's a swoon of citrus. There's a plume of blooms and a cloud of cocoa.
A plume of blooms.
Now, that's not really what really caught my attention. If you if you just click on their regular menu thing,
Mhm.
there's a lot of like what you would say would be unusual flavors,
Right.
right? But not gross, not ridiculous. But
like not like maple syrup Brussels sprout chocolate ice cream.
Well, I mean, Maybe something like that.
Okay.
There was one that was like, and I just lost it for whatever reason. Their page just refreshed on me, and now I can't see the one that was really weird. But it was like deviled egg custard or something like that. That seems weird.
That seems gross.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I was trying to be nice by saying weird, but then there's other ones that are totally normal and actually sound interesting. The reason I brought it up, though, with relation to the Rings of Power, which is the new Tolkien universe show that's coming up on Amazon, is that this company has made Rings of Power flavored ice creams.
Okay.
And they're based on things that exist in the Tolkien world. So they've got, what's this one? This one is called Bilberry ice cream with rose hip something or other. I can't read it because the thing is turned, but it's all these weird things. But one of them has something mushrooms with bilberry custard. Tell me that's not actual mushroom flavor in an ice cream.
I think it's probably actual mushroom flavor in an ice
There's
cream.
no way.
Yeah, it
right?
sounds gross, but I bet it is.
So, but they're trying to create these tastes of Middle Earth. That's kind of the idea, because you hear them. I don't know how much you're not as big a nerd as I am on this particular topic.
I have
If it
never
were the
read a word or watched 1 minute of Lord of the Rings.
Knew there was something wrong with you.
I know.
You're too busy reading about 1842 Supreme Court justices.
And Charles Dickens.
And Charles
who was
Dickens. Who's that
alive
guy?
at that time. My favorite book, 1850, David Copperfield. Not the magician, Kevin.
Oh, I'm like, he wasn't around then. He's not a magician. He's a vampire.
Not the magician. The book,
Like David Copperfield? He was around then? That would be amazing.
Yeah, no. Different David Copperfield.
So, how are you on quote unquote designer weird ice creams?
You know,
Or
Kevin,
desserts or foods
yeah,
or
'cause
whatever?
You know what the big one is, of course, is donuts.
Well,
Like
yeah,
weird
right.
flavors of donuts.
Right.
I am 100% not into it. I don't even like bacon ice cream when it's bacon.
What do you mean you
maple
don't
syrup.
even? That's disgusting.
I think it's disgusting, but there's bacon donuts. I do not like the weird
That I
flavors.
can actually go for.
No,
Because you can
Kevin.
eat bacon with a donut like as a part of breakfast. That's not ridiculous.
No, I party foul. It's no
No.
good. And I also don't like when they make wine flavored ice creams or tea. You know, there's a matcha
Oh.
tea ice cream. And I know
Here's one. Deviled egg custard with smoked black tea.
Oh,
That sounds like, I don't even know what that tastes like. What's it? Does it taste like dirt?
I know. Well, Middle Earth.
Well, that's not one of the Middle Earth ones, unfortunately.
Oh, no, I just think that sounds disgusting. I am such a simple person when it comes to dessert. My favorite donut is a chocolate Long John. And my favorite ice cream is vanilla ice cream with sprinkles, extra sprinkles.
That is the
He's
lamest
audibly,
favorite
like,
ice cream ever.
No, and my favorite
What are
birthday
you,
cake
4?
is vanilla birthday cake.
Just give me the vanilla.
With white icing and sprinkles.
Oh,
Okay,
you said the birthday cake ice cream?
no, just vanilla, but I could do birthday cake, but I just like vanilla ice cream with sprinkles. I like vanilla cake with sprinkles. This is how much I don't know if I'll ever get married, but if I did, my wedding cake would be a vanilla cake just completely covered in sprinkles. You know, sides, top, just sprinkle cake. I love sprinkles.
So you're 4.
well,
Really, really, really bright 4-year-old that
she's
reads
a prodigy.
that reads about ageless magicians who were written about in 1850 and still live on the earth
Okay,
today.
maybe with the sprinkles, but the chocolate Long John is legit.
I
That's
mean,
a classic.
It is, but like you don't even get to like the good fancy ones. Like it's got like peanut butter cream inside and
Ugh,
peanut butter cups on the
no,
top. Those are
no,
the best.
gross, no.
Or like a Butterfinger donut. Like those are amazing.
The other donut I like, you know, they have the cake donuts.
Yeah.
They're a little bit denser. I love cake donuts. But no, do not give me the Reese's peanut butter
So
donut.
you wouldn't want like the salted malted chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
I like chocolate chip cookie dough.
Okay, so
That's
you're not an alien.
No, that's a traditional, but there's no peanut butter in it. There's no bacon.
Pots of golden rainbows is one of them. I don't know what that means.
I bet it's Fruity Pebbles.
All right, so I've seen this in a number of places. Lavender flavored ice
Yeah,
creams.
no, it's not a thing. Not my.
Why?
No. Why? And
Does,
rose.
does lavender taste good?
No,
Why would you eat it?
because it's fancy. It looks.
I mean, I know
boutique.
it's people like the smell,
Mhm.
right? Like there are a lot of like lavender candles and
Here's what I don't like is like
bath thingies.
ice creams like the lavender or
Soaps.
the rose. Yes, I don't want ice cream that tastes like a craft store smells. Do you have to
a
go
craft
to
store? Dude, I'm going to tell you something right now. There is the craft stores are one thing. There is nothing on this planet worse than a store that has nothing but candles that smell. I just like I walk in and it's like I want to collapse and die. There's just too many smells.
too many smells.
I can't sort them out. It confuses me and then it gives me a headache.
When did Bath and Body Works morph into one smell? No matter what the scent is, it's just Bath and Body Works smell.
We just got a text that says it's from the 636. OMG, I need this ice cream. I've been obsessed with Tolkien everything since I was a kid.
Aw.
It's a Salt and Straw is the producer of the ice cream.
Salt and Straw.
But if you go to like right now it's on the Twitter handle for the Lord of the Rings of Power show, so they got it all on there. I don't want any of those weird tastes in my ice cream. I like ice cream that's got stuff in it. Like that's the best ice cream.
Yeah.
Like cookies and brownies and whatever. Just stuff in there, not just plain. Plain's okay, but stuff is better.
Like sprinkles.
That's kind of almost stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not substantial enough, but they're good. I'll take them on my Sunday.
Whatever's good enough for old wheat fats.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results. Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Only $49.99 guaranteed. Don't just cut down. Stop smoking. In addition, use hypnosis to lose all the weight and destroy unwanted cravings. Seminars Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. More info at markpatrickseminars.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
This is KMOX, the trusted voice of St. Louis. An Odyssey station.
I'm Bob Jones, and my brother and I ran J&W Cycles for nearly 40 years here in our community. I learned that when Democrats are in charge, taxes went up on my business, my customers, and my employees. Now that Joe Biden is president, the dollars we do take home don't even go as far. If you vote for me, Bob Jones, as your next state senator, I will work to lower your taxes and to protect our small businesses and farms. It's your money. You earned it.
Paid for by Bob Jones for Senate.
Start your own Amazon business.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula seminar, and I'm now doing $175,000 in sales per month.
In 2020, Americans made $50 billion selling on Amazon. Join America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost, where anyone can learn how to start an Amazon business for only $49.99 guaranteed, or your money back. 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at wholesaleformula.com. That's wholesaleformula.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 92 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan. Our top story this hour, the January 6th committee is on a break after last night's primetime hearing where they presented evidence further connecting former President Donald Trump to the attack on the Capitol. The committee will reconvene in September. Meanwhile, KMOX's Republican political analyst John Hancock still has some questions.
I'd like to know what the plan was for the president going to the Capitol.
on January 6th, because clearly he was upset that the Secret Service wouldn't take him there. And I don't think he was just going on a whim. He was going to do something at the Capitol. We don't know what that was, and I'd like to know.
U.S. Congressman Lee Zeldin of New York escaped serious injury when a man tried to stab him at a campaign event last night.
Zeldin, who's the GOP candidate for New York governor, says he's okay. The Zeldin campaign says the attacker climbed onto a low stage at an event in Rochester, New York, and apparently tried to stab Zeldin as he was speaking. A video posted on Twitter shows Zeldin and the attacker falling to the ground as other people try to intervene. GOP Chair Nick Langworthy says Zeldin had a scrape, and Langworthy is calling on Zeldin's Democratic opponent, Governor Kathy Hochul, who's condemned the attack, to issue a security detail while Zeldin is on the campaign trail. I'm Donna Porter.
3 are dead after a shooting at a state park in eastern Iowa. Police say the suspected shooter is also dead. It happened at the Maquoketa Caves State Park campground. Happened before 7 o'clock this morning. Russia and Ukraine may have both shaken hands, but Ukraine's foreign minister says Kyiv only trusts the United Nations to carry out the grain agreement just struck in Istanbul. CBS News correspondent Holly Williams.
The hope is that more than 20 million tons of Ukrainian grain will now be shipped, perhaps beginning as early as tomorrow. The grain has been stuck in silos here in Ukraine because of Russia's naval blockade of Ukraine's Black Sea ports during this war. That's contributed to a spike in global food prices, with the United Nations saying over 345 million people, many of them in Africa, are, quote, marching to the brink of starvation.
Millions of Americans are investing in a permanent plan to beat the heat. Dreamers like this man bought their Mega Millions ticket at a shop in New Jersey.
Got to be in it to win it. You have to be in it to win it. And this is the one. Don't look at the numbers. Chance.
Yeah.
Just to have that chance.
Tonight's jackpot clocks in at $630 million and counting. The First Mid and Bank Trust Business Desk. Twitter suffered a quarterly loss as revenue slipped even as user numbers climbed. They lost $270 million from April to June after revenue slipped 1%. Twitter blamed an ad industry uncertainty during the Elon Musk takeover negotiations. Twitter did win a motion this week in a Delaware court for a trial against Musk for trying to terminate that $44 billion deal for the company. Do have an issue where the right shoulder is affected at 370 westbound before 141. Stalled vehicle I-70 eastbound has Kings Highway right lane closed right now. Also, stalled vehicle 44 eastbound on the on-ramp from Williams Road. Be prepared to stop in that area.
Summertime in St. Louis once again this afternoon. It's hot, it's sunny, increasing humidity, 99 to 100 degrees. Tonight, clear and rather humid, 90s this evening, 75 for the low. Saturday, sunny, hot, and humid, 100 Saturday afternoon. The record is 108 from 1934. Sunday, partly sunny, hot, and humid, maybe a spot afternoon thunderstorm, 100 on Sunday. The record on Sunday, 111, also from 1934. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
What do you have to beat the heat? Hopefully a bottle of water. Right now it's 93 in St. Peter's, Florissant 92, and downtown of the Arch 92 degrees, sunny skies. I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
All right, it's 105 on the show. Amy Mark scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Chris Ranji out. He'll be back on Monday. Now, we've established in our short time doing the show that, Amy and Ranji are, how do I say this nicely?
Germaphobes? Psychotic about it?
I wasn't going to say psychotic. I was going to say more like ridiculously above the top anxious about anything that could even remotely be considered gross.
Yes.
I mean, like even something that's not gross is gross to you guys.
Okay, first of all, that's subjective. And obviously we think it's gross. Otherwise, we wouldn't think it's gross.
You guys are very easily grossed out.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're pretty
I'm more so than Ron.
sensitive.
Yeah, when you say that we've established it, I would probably argue that we have put too fine a point on it because even I listen to us going, wow, we're neurotic.
Yeah, you guys are. You guys are very much so. And we just had a reinforcement of this moments ago in the studio. We're going to reenact what happened. 2 minutes ago in the studio. Amy comes in. She has purchased herself some peanut M&Ms.
Love it.
Love peanut M&Ms. They're fantastic, obviously. You bring in the pack, and then we hear a smack, and then an oh no. That's Amy. Oh no. Would you like to recreate it?
They're like, oh no.
Because one blue peanut M&M wound up on the ground.
Yes.
Amy's like, oh, well, that one has to go in the trash. And I said, oh, no, it doesn't. I will eat it. Bring it to me. And then
bring it
and you
to
were
me.
like hesitantly, like you're holding it away from yourself.
Because I thought I almost felt morally obligated to say, no, Kevin, for your own good, I'm not going to bring the blue M&M to you.
So if you've ever seen anybody like pick up, for example, I've seen people do this with like a dirty diaper. Like you hold it away.
I was going to say underwear on the ground.
Right. You kind of like you pick it up with your fingertips and then you kind of hold it away as far as you can extend your arm away. That's how Amy was holding this blue peanut. And then she kind of like dropped it into my hand because I was going to eat it, and I ate it.
Oh,
it was on the ground for like 4 seconds.
But like we
clearly
walk
under
in,
the 5-second rule.
We walk into the bathroom. Stuff sticks to the bottom. E. coli, typhoid.
Yeah.
And then you walk onto the carpet, and then it fell right where my feet were.
I was right over there.
Ugh.
It tasted good.
So he ate the blue
I
peanut
ate
M&M.
that blue peanut. Yes, I did.
used Purell with the to
just
clean,
now, like
to clean the hand
just
that I
'cause you
picked it up
touch it.
with.
Here, give me some of that. I'll swallow some Purell. Sorry, I was listening to the former president.
That was bleach. Was it bleach?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, not bleach. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Was it light
Well,
bleach?
if I suddenly get sick and fall ill, you'll know why.
The blue.
I ate a blue peanut that was on the floor for
M&M.
4 seconds.
Yeah, not a blue peanut.
Blue peanut M&M, right? Yeah, blue peanut would probably make you really sick. Probably don't want to eat that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass on those.
I don't believe in the 5-second rule. I think used to.
I'm a devotee.
Yeah, I used to
In
believe.
fact, I will extend the 5-second rule.
To how long?
Oh, easy 10 seconds, but it depends on where it lands.
Mm-hmm.
So if it were to land on, like, say, my couch, I'm sitting there. Oh, it's like there's no limit. That can be eaten forever, right?
Oh, I will say that if I dropped like a chip on the couch that I'm sitting on, I would definitely eat it. However,
what if you had dogs and your dogs sit on the couch with you like mine do with me?
That's a good question.
They sit like next to me. They sit at my footrest. Like if I drop the chip in a spot where my dogs they're everywhere. They're like, they sit on me. They sit around me. They sit. What if that happened? Like a dog was sitting on your shirt, like they lay down and they're on top of you. And then you drop a chip there later on. Would you still eat it? Or would you be like, nope, my dog was there. My dog butt was there.
So it depends on how well I know the dog. And if I know the dog, if I know that dog's habits. And you may think, wow, Amy, you're really splitting hairs here. I know one friend whose dog definitely drinks out of the toilet every day.
Oh, yeah.
And eats.
My dogs can't reach.
Yeah. And eats dead animals because they live on a farm. This dog scares me. Now, I have my mom's dog.
Kind of dog.
Francis. Yeah. Who is an indoor dog. Francis is precious, which we've said. So
you talk about Francis like Gollum talks about the ring.
Look at my precious. Yes, Francis Mark Scores, who also has nationwide insurance, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, if the chip fell where Francis sat, I would eat the chip. Unless, it fell directly under his butt. I wouldn't.
I mean, if it was like immediate, like you're fishing it out from under there, no, don't eat that. Even I'm not going to eat that.
I wouldn't do that. And people think, wow, Amy, you don't make any sense. You're completely arbitrary. And I will say that is exactly right. Because I feel
that's why I keep telling you guys are nonsensical about this.
But here's the thing. With everything else in life, from politics to my views on anything else, I have receipts and I have to know what I'm talking about. So when there's something that I can be capricious and arbitrary about, by golly, I'm going to be capricious and arbitrary. And that's how I feel about dropping chips where my dog has sat.
Yeah. So your dog is okay. It's just the rest of them.
Well, I may know another dog who's clean, but like I said, the dog that I'm thinking about that drinks out of the toilet all the time and then has the mouth that's like still dripping and comes up to you and is like, and you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to pet you right now because you just drank out of the toilet.
You don't pet their face, like their mouth.
You do. You like
scratch them
hold
on the
their
head. You scratch their ears. They like that.
Or you like hold their face and you let them
that's
kiss
true.
you.
Those are the cheeks. Yeah, well, that's true. People, yeah. You can do that. I wouldn't do that immediately after. That's probably a little buffer time.
Yeah.
I don't know what that time frame is, but it's certainly
Dry.
not. It's certainly not immediate. Well, dog mouths are never really dry. I mean, they're always, licking.
Yeah.
You know.
Do your dogs like certain items that they're not supposed to eat? And I don't mean like food and turkey legs. Here's my example. Francis loves underpants and socks. If he gets underpants or socks, he'll eat it up. And,
Yeah.
and that's really bad for dogs.
Yeah. Well, I'm. Yes, one of our dogs does this. I don't know that. I mean, can you handle gross?
Yes. Is
Like,
it
I don't
coming
know.
out of the trash can?
Way worse.
Okay.
Than that. way worse
Oh,
than
no.
coming out of the garbage can.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's worse than that.
Okay.
It's not something out of the garbage can.
Okay.
So do you want to know or do you not want to know?
Can we say it on KMOX?
I mean, you can say, yeah, you can say it. I just don't want you to be like, and run out of the studio.
Okay, say it.
I have
slowly.
a dog
Yeah.
that if not monitored,
Oh, yeah.
will eat poop.
Yes.
Her own poop.
Yes.
Or our other dog's poop.
So that's a thing.
No, it is. It is. It's a,
Yeah.
I think it's called like corpophagia. I think that's what it's called.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's not good.
No.
Like you try different things to stop it. So we've just decided the only way we can stop it is to stand outside in the yard and make sure that she doesn't do it. So when they all go out, we got to go with them.
That stinks.
Yep. Well, they're kind of little, so we kind of do that anyway because there's hawks. You know, like I wouldn't want to. I'm mildly chuckling, not because it's a funny idea, but because it is kind of odd that I got to go out in the backyard because the hawks are big enough to take my dogs. That's how little the dogs are.
Have they ever circled the dogs?
No, I've not seen them out there like they're looking to grab them or anything. But I mean, I've seen the hawks sitting on our fence.
So Kevin Killeen did a story about that. Was it almost a year ago about a little dog that was taken by a hawk and then
Yeah.
dropped several miles away?
Yeah. I don't want that to happen to my dogs.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of a secondary reason that we hang out there with them while they're
Mhm.
taking care of whatever they got to take care of.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're not like teacup little guys. They're not like 6, 7, 8 pound dogs. I mean, they're massive 13 pounders. They're the size of like a medium sized bowling ball.
Did you just say schmedium?
Yeah.
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 That was a small/medium.
Yeah. Although 13 is more medium than schmedium. Because 16 is usually the heaviest of the bowling balls.
Oh, yeah. If you're
Yeah.
using the spectrum of bowling balls,
Right,
if you're
it would be
using
a
dogs,
medium-ish.
13 is small.
Oh, 13 is tiny.
Tiny.
Yeah, you're miniature.
baby.
You're little. I was gonna say a word I can't say. You're a little blankety blank. You're tiny. That's what they are. Yes.
What are their names?
R2 D2 is one of them.
Mhm.
He's the not mean, but tough guy. And then Lucy.
So when
Lucy's the poop eater.
wait, I live in Lucy. Yeah. When you go to the vet, then does it say R2D2 Wheeler?
It just says R2, like it's spelled out ARTOO.
Okay. So
Like
R-
that's how we spelled it officially.
R2 Wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't you love that the vet puts the last name? So
And he loves the vet.
really?
He loves the vet.
Why?
I don't know. He loves the vet. If you say he loves the vet and he loves the groomer, if you tell him, R2, we're going to go see the ladies, he loses it. He runs around, he barks, he wants to go and get in the car. And then when you get there, he's pulling you into the building. Because the ladies means both, because it's for whatever reason at our vet, it's all ladies. And then the groomers are all ladies.
So you say, let's go see the ladies.
Go see the ladies. And he goes
That is
nuts.
the cutest thing
And then when he
ever.
goes nuts, Lucy's like, nope, and goes the other way.
She doesn't want to go see the ladies.
No, she does not.
I love that you call it the ladies. I have an important update from Maria Kina. She said to tell Wheels, put meat tenderizer on the poo, and that will stop
They will stop that?
eating it.
Okay, it's a good suggestion. I don't know if I have that, but I'm going to try to seek it out. But mostly, like, it's not a really big thing because I don't want to get. I'm not going to get too deep in this. She's only interested in if it's fresh.
Okay.
If it's been there for a while, she's not even going to go near it. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain it. So
you'd have to follow.
so
with
that's
a
the
meat
thing. Yes, I would have
tenderizer.
to do what I do anyway and be out there anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, we've tried. I didn't try that one. People have tried, like, say, try hot sauce.
Oh.
I didn't change anything because again, you got to be there, and if you're there, then you're with them anyway. So it's a pain. These dogs are a pain, but they're awesome.
Remember how you said you never have any time for certain things?
Yeah.
This might be a time
Again,
kill.
every well, we share it. There's got a couple of us in the house that we share the duties. Ooh, I just said
Wah,
duty.
wah.
Sorry, that was not intentional. Hey, Dave Glover's going to join us in about a half an hour. We'll be talking with him in the lead up to the DGS today, and of course the Cardinals coming up at 5:40 tonight here on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hey everyone, this is Sarah from Fantagram, and I am here speaking out about mental illness and the seriousness of this disease in hopes that we can overcome the stigma surrounding it. Last year, my sister committed suicide after her lifelong battle with depression and anxiety. There has been a stigma in our culture surrounding mental illness and suicide. This stigma can lead to discrimination and negative stereotyping, which makes it harder for the ones who are suffering to reach out. But it's okay to not feel okay, and it's okay to get help. We can all help by listening to people around us, encouraging friends and family who are struggling to talk to either us or professional counselors. We all need to help instill courage in others facing these challenges. And I'm listening.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
With Wholesale Formula Seminar, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
Hey, I'm Rick Manello. 2 years after attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was able to sell my Amazon business for over $400,000.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar to learn how to work from home while raising my son. Today, I do $175,000 in sales per month.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Hi, I'm Hillary. Before attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was a school teacher. Today, I work from home selling products on Amazon.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired or need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how. Only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Discover the easy way to make money on Amazon with Dylan Frost, the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
News, talk, sports. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
All right, Dave Glover's going to pop in here in about 20, 25 minutes just to hang out for a few minutes in advance of the DGS. He was kind enough to do that today because they have a short show. Cardinals baseball pregame starts at 4:45, 5:40 for the first pitch. So 4:45 pregame, 5:40 for the first pitch. All right, so we got a bunch of reaction on the text line in the last segments. So it's 314-436-7900 on a couple of the topics that were there. Basically, it was a topic about gross. I mean, that wasn't intended, but that's what it wound up being. If you missed the initial story right before we started the top of the hour segment, Amy had dropped a blue-colored peanut M&M onto the ground and was going to throw it away. I said, no, don't throw it away. I'll eat it. And I ate it, and that made Amy not well.
Well, it was gross. Okay, it fell on the floor of the studio here.
Yeah.
And we know the kinds of people that work here.
And again, it was on the floor for maybe 3 or 4 seconds.
But again, we all go to the bathroom. We all come right back into
Not
the
on the
studio.
floor.
Okay, great clarification.
That's what I want to be clear.
Not go to the bathroom on the floor. We go to the physical bathroom, then come back so you know your shoes are dirty. And the M&M fell on the floor. And I honestly was reluctant to pick it up, much less give it to Kevin to eat. And I almost had like it was a moral obligation. I felt like an enabler, a germ enabler.
Yeah, trust me, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be just fine because that's not nearly the first time I've ever picked up something off the floor and eaten it.
What if I dropped it at the airport?
Again, depends on where and what it lands in, but just general floor, I would do the same thing.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Kevin.
And I'm going to be just fine. And here we got a text on this topic from the 618 Amy. This is not me reading. This is our texter. Amy, I'm 75 years old. Don't be afraid of germs on the floor. When I was growing up until about the age of 30, we drank nothing but well water. And every couple of years, we would remove the well cover to do maintenance on the pump. And it was always common that there would be some dead rodents floating in the well, and we drank it all the time. Though it and thought it was great tasting water. You'll be fine with the M&M when it hits the ground. Thank you, 618.
Wow.
And I'm sorry you drank rodent water.
You wouldn't drink water if you saw a rat floating in it.
I mean, not like if it was like the first time, no, but like if you said you've been drinking it your whole life and you never knew it.
No.
I mean,
once you knew you could still do it, you could still drink the water. Once you knew there was a dead rat floating in it.
They did it.
You are
I mean,
a better man than I am.
I wouldn't leave it there.
Yeah. You'd fish it out.
You have to, right? That's what the whole point of what they're doing is cleaning, maintaining, and doing all that. Again, I'm not sure that that's the same thing. I might have that mental block, though. Like, well, did it my whole life. Guess it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. Although, I guess you're always fine till you're not, right?
That's exactly right.
You're always fine until you're not. We were talking about little dogs, my little dogs, and me like watching out for hawks and stuff. And it's not like they're always there, but occasionally you see the hawks in our neighborhood. One landed on the lawn next to me as I was pulling into my driveway the other day.
A hawk?
It just landed on the grass.
They're pretty majestic. They're huge.
Yeah, they're cool. The ones that are in our neighborhood are not like massive, but they're good size. I mean, they're bigger than my dog.
You don't usually see them on the grass. Like
no,
sometimes
that was
they'll be
weird.
Low on a branch.
Yeah.
And I have seen a hawk.
This was the front yard too. Like it was weird. It was kind of a like, I'm tired. I'm going to sit for a minute.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's like flapping his wings. Like, I just got to sit. Guys, I got to land for a minute. And they're like, no, Bob, stay in the air. And then he lands and holds everybody else up. I have run on the trails, though, before where a hawk swooped down, maybe about 15 yards in front of me, picked up a snake off the trail and flew away. That was pretty wild because the snake's like 5 feet long and dangling from the talons of this hawk.
That's crazy.
It was pretty cool.
That'd be a hell of a scene. We got another texter said 573 says in rural northern Missouri near Mark Twain Lake, when the bald eagles are out, usually in pairs, no wildlife is active. Says my two shepherds stay closer to cover. Nothing moves in the wild when the bald eagles are out. I think that's a pretty good strategy.
Yeah.
If you're small enough to be food.
Just like in the movie.
But I mean, the
Proposal.
shepherds do it. Shepherds are big. Now, bald eagles are huge. I don't think they're picking up German shepherds, but
Isn't it the nest of a bald eagle is like 8 foot wide and 8 foot in diameter?
it's
huge.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Answer
I believe
man's
it's
gonna
like
look.
8 feet. And just like in the movie The Proposal, the bald eagles up in Alaska swooped down and snatched the little white fluffy dog whose name was Kevin.
Was it really?
Yeah. In the movie with Sandra
I've seen
Bullock
pictures of
and
that
Ryan
dog.
Reynolds.
I didn't see the movie because I hate those I hate rom-com type
No,
things.
this is one that would be friendly to people who hate rom-coms.
Really?
Because
'Cause
Sandra
I don't
Bullock.
like any of those kind of
Do
things.
you like Sandra Bullock?
I mean, fine. Like great in Speed and I don't know. What else did I see Sandra
I
Bullock
think
in?
you would like this one. This is the rom-com.
Gravity. That was all right.
Yeah.
Dumb movie, but
Mm.
she was fine. Like it wasn't a dumb movie. It was just too much.
Is that the one where George Clooney floats off into space?
Yes, that's where he floats away, and then literally everything that can go wrong goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I hate about those disaster movies where okay, you know what? It's probably bad enough to be stranded in space alone, and then you don't need like 16 more catastrophes. I swore at the end of that movie, like, and spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen the movie, I'm surprised there were no sharks in the ocean at the end. Like I was waiting for like Jaws to pop up. That's how many things popped up in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Defies.
Do not like that.
It defies the suspension of belief. All of a sudden, I had no idea what I was thinking of.
Roughly 8 feet wide and 13 feet deep, the size of a bald eagle nest.
Bum,
Amy,
bum, bum,
nailed
bum,
it.
bum,
Answer
bum.
man confirms the answer that you had already in your head.
So Jefferson Lake in Forest Park, because everybody talks about the eagles in Alton and you can go see them at the river, but there are eagles at Jefferson Lake in Forest Park. That's the lake right there by not too far away from the skating rink, but you're in the view of the Central West End, that side of the park. And I have seen eagles there a lot. It's pretty awesome.
They are one of the, I mean, like, if you've seen them in a wildlife park up close, it's just the just size is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know it, you read about it, you hear the nest is this big, and then you see them sitting next, like sitting. I can't remember where I was. There was a wildlife reserve in Florida where they had one that they were rehabbing, I think.
Mhm.
And it is stunning.
Yeah.
Like there are some animals they're just, all right, it's an animal. Zebras are cool, but it's a zebra. Antelopes are cool. But some of them you get up close. I'm that way with the big cats too. Like when you're up close to them and you're like, that thing is just an amazing creature.
I was shocked to see all the laws surrounding the bald eagle. Of course, you can't hunt them or anything like that. We all know that. But if you were to find a bald eagle feather on the ground, it is illegal for you to pick up that feather.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that. Why?
It is the law.
No, Thanks, Mom. Why? Because.
I think it might
Why?
encourage feather trading.
Oh, I see. So they know if you have it, maybe you did something wrong, or you're at least a suspect.
Maybe. I have no idea. My guess is they're just trying to keep people from doing anything illegal with bald eagles.
It's
and you can't.
probably a fair point.
I think there's some type of feather trading or, black market feathers. I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, people collect odd things, and you certainly wouldn't want anybody. I mean, you would love to say you could trust people to not be that stupid.
Ugh, no. Never trust people to not be stupid.
We're pretty stupid species. Yeah. Even though we have the ability to be super intellectual and solve complex problems, we also just like, I'm going to kill that thing because its feathers are cool. Like, that's such an odd thing to do.
But we've always
Is that the
been
reason?
that way.
Well, I'm going to look during the break to see if that was the reason why.
Thanks to the texters, though.
Yeah,
you can
that's
always
great
text
stuff.
in 314-436-7900. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I got some good more eagle facts that I'm going to look at. Probably not going to bring them back on the air, but I'm going to read them and say I'll reply to you guys during the break. But eagles are just pretty awesome. Stay away from my dogs, though.
Dave Glover, never afraid to share an opinion.
I don't think that any group or person or candidate or party gets to claim we're the patriots or we love our country and you don't.
Ready to discuss issues.
We really need to have an honest conversation about that.
The Dave Glover Show. News, information, great talk, and so much more.
So if you're sick of listening to people fight about politics, if you just want to have a good time in the afternoon, give me a shot.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Busey's community focus takes us to Edwardsville in July. I'm joined by Steve Grant, Vice President and Busey Area Manager for Edwardsville, and a Rotarian to talk about the Busey Bank Rotary Criterium Festival, a fun biking event coming this summer. Listen to our July podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
The following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The homicide rate in St. Louis was the highest in the country last year.
One leader has taken on St. Louis politicians for failing to do enough to stop lawlessness and violent crime spreading toward us. Our Jefferson County Executive, Dennis Gannon. Dennis Gannon opposes the Liberals' dumb and dangerous plan to defund the police. Dennis supports greater funding for law enforcement to keep our neighborhoods and families safe. Since Biden won't build the wall and control the border, Dennis Gannon is working locally to stop illegal immigration here, ban sanctuary cities, and stop tax dollars going to illegal immigrants. Dennis Gannon's Strategic Jobs Initiative is focused on recruiting jobs away from China and bringing them home. And Dennis Gannon's a leader in transforming Jefferson County's Port Authority into a massive trade center to create jobs here. Conservative Dennis Gannon for Jefferson County Executive. Right for our future.
Paid for by Gannon for Jefferson County.
At 1:30, we have sunny skies, 95 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan. Here's what's happening. January 6th hearing last night revealed that despite desperate pleas from aides, allies, members of Congress, and even his family, former President Donald Trump refused to call off the mob and that mob attack on the Capitol on January 6th. Here's CBS's Robert Costa.
This committee, through its work, is trying to reveal new testimony, new evidence about what happened behind the scenes. In another way, though, it's also trying to reveal character, and it's become a reckoning for the Republican Party. Where do they go from here?
President Biden's doctor says his COVID symptoms have improved. Meanwhile, U.S. Congressman Lee Zeldin of New York escaped serious injury last night when a man tried to stab him at a campaign event. Reports out of Chicago indicate 4 of 5 people stabbed at a CTA train station this morning in critical condition. Police reportedly made some arrests in that case as well. A helicopter went down in Waterloo, Illinois. Early this morning, Fox 2 reporting this. The pilot was up and walking around after that crash. Speaking of crashes, looking at the roadways right now, nothing too big to report. This report just came in. Stalled vehicle I-70 eastbound before Cave Springs and Truman Road. The left lane is closed, and there's a stalled vehicle 270 southbound just before 370. The right shoulder is affected there. Your weather for the rest of today will reach close to 100. Right now we have 95, low of 82 tonight. Tomorrow, very hot, 104 the high. A high around 100 degrees on Sunday. Possible thunderstorm in the afternoon even. 87 drips down a little bit on Monday because of some rain possibly. High of 90 on Tuesday. Right now, 97 in St. Peter's, 95 in Florissant, 95 downtown to the Arch with a sunny sky. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Join Yadier Molina and your favorite Cardinals players at the Flavors of Puerto Rico charity dinner on Monday, August 15th at the Chase Park Plaza. You can enjoy rum-based cocktails and dinner prepared by one of Puerto Rico's celebrity chefs. The event benefits Foundation for Yadi's Foundation, which raises funds for underprivileged kids in St. Louis and Puerto Rico. For tickets or to sponsor, visit YadierMolina4.com or send an email to info@YadierMolina4.com for more information. You can also check the events page at KMOX.com/events.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Albert Pujols comes to bat. Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols talks with Tom Ackerman Mondays at 9:50.
He hits a fly ball left field, and it's gone!
Exclusively on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
All right, 1:34 on the show. Amy Mark scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Ron will be back on Monday. A lot of the newsy stuff today has been less than fun. Nothing fun about January 6th, nothing fun about things like that. But here's a news item, though, that is, I wouldn't say it's fun, but it's a really good story about someone who's one of the most popular Americans, and I think one that might have the most tall tales about them in the modern world, too. You think of the old tall tales like it was Paul Bunyan and that. I don't know that there are more tall tales about anybody than Bo Jackson.
Okay, actually,
like everybody has a Bo Jackson. Did you see that? Can you remember that? He did this thing.
But are they tall tales? Like, have they exaggerated?
I think maybe some of the early day ones might have been, but
Okay.
the ones that were televised are not exaggerated. They're just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right. So bringing up Bo Jackson for this reason, that the news came today that Bo flew to Uvalde, Texas, and handed the mayor a check for $170,000 so that he could cover the funerals for everybody that was killed in the Robb Elementary School shooting. He has no connection to that city. He's not from Texas. He's from Alabama. He didn't play anywhere in that area. He just decided, I want to do this good thing. So he went and did it. That's really cool.
Mm.
I mean, it's horrific that it's a thing that needs to be taken care of. It's terrible that's even necessary. But here you have a guy that had no compulsion, no need to do anything like that, but he went and did it.
Yeah, when you see how people come together, you see communities dealing with such a tragic situation. And I believe shortly after the shooting, someone came forward and was making, and it's so tragic to even say it, but was making caskets for the kids and individualizing them.
Somebody local, right? Yeah.
To what the kids liked, their passions, their favorite things. And so the last thing that you have the mental capacity to deal with after such a tragedy is, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for these things? Because you for some families, maybe that's not an issue, but to compound your devastating loss, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to have to deal with the logistics for someone to come in and say, I'm going to take care of those costs, is a huge relief.
I'm not sure that my question is a fair one, because I think when you're getting into acts of kindness and charity, it really does need to be something you're feeling, right? Like, clearly this connected with Bo Jackson in some way.
And it could have been, just the tragedy itself, not that he had a tie to Texas or anything, but just the tragedy itself. How can I help?
Right.
And thinking this is the way I could help.
Well, that's that. It's similar to, at least in theory, it's similar to the pizza delivery guy in Indiana who saw a house burning, got out of his car, and then when he realized he didn't have his phone to call 911, he just jumped in and started saving kids and pulled them out of a burning house. Again, he's not doing it for any motivation. There's no connection to the family. Didn't know them. But he just saw this is something that needed to be done. It's good for my fellow man. And it's the same idea that what Bo Jackson's doing here. It's a selfless act. It's not required. It's not necessary. If you didn't do it, nobody would be like, why didn't you do that thing? Nobody would say, well, why didn't Bo Jackson give money? I mean, of course you wouldn't think that. Why would you think that? But he's compelled to do it for whatever reason that touched him. And again, a little different, I think, in the sense that the pizza delivery guy was like, it was an immediate danger. It was something that you react instantaneously to. But it's the same idea of a selfless act that is not required of you.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan if something moves your heart for some reason, even if it's inexplicable, because not that a certain hardship or tragedy wouldn't move you, but just we are flooded with hardships and tragedies every day.
Yeah.
And it's hard to take that all in. But if one particular one really hits you, even if you don't know why, I'm a big fan of act on that. Act on that instinct to help, whether it's making a donation or writing someone a card. After friends or family have lost close ones, one, it is so important to go to the funeral, because I think I used to be worried that, I didn't know that person that well. I'm almost bothering them, or would it be awkward if I showed up? I don't know why I used to think that way, that somehow I'd be bothering them by showing up. Show up, even if you didn't know that person that well, in that moment of loss, to see the community be present for you is so overwhelming. I didn't realize that until, I lost close ones. And also after the funeral, like after things have settled down for months, check in on that person, write a letter, give them a call, shoot over a text, because that matters. So yeah, I think these acts of kindness, we have opportunities to take every day. And if you feel moved to do it, don't try to reason yourself out of it.
Yeah. And what is also sometimes just, it doesn't stop me in your tracks because we know it instinctively. I mean, like, obviously there are people that are the polar opposite of this that will just do the most horrible things for no reason. And it's odd to know that we're the same species, that you can be the same. And I know, again, every individual is different. Everybody is raised under different circumstances. People are damaged by things that happen to them when they're kids. I mean, I totally get it. It's just it's such a contradictory thing that we as humans can be as kind as we are at our best and as horrible as we are at our worst.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, as you look through history, it's easy to separate ourselves from some of the worst actors in history. And you think, no, we, like you said, we're the same species, and how important it is for the good people to keep on acting, to keep on fighting for what is right, standing up for what is right. But it definitely starts small, starts with your family, starts with your neighborhood, your community, and you branch out from there.
So Bo Jackson's wanted to tip the cap to him because he did something really cool there. There's something else I wanted to mention right along with this. Our good friend Ben Boyd. We actually had Ben. This was back when I was still sitting in and taking up space on the Glover Show. But our good friend Ben Boyd, he works for the Cardinals now, but for a long time was here at KMOX, our executive sports producer. He now runs the Cardinals radio network there. On this same note, he's holding a fundraiser this weekend. We had him in studio to have him tell the story of Jarvis Wheat. Jarvis was murdered not that long ago. Young man, just a teenager, great kid. Ben knew him through the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and Ben had been his big for I think 10 years
at least. And the thing is, they were like family. If you knew Ben, you knew Jarvis.
Yes. He brought Jarvis to a lot of events. We'd meet him. I met him. First time I met him was at KMOX, was here at the station. Great kid. Well, Ben is holding a fundraiser tomorrow at the Hot Shots in St. Charles from 2 to 6 p.m. So if you want to check it out, there are things you can do online too to help out. It's 32auctions.com/Jarvis. If that's tough to remember, you don't want to write down Ben Boyd STL on Twitter. It's his top story, his top tweet. You can just click on the link there. It's happening tomorrow. They're just trying to help the family out with costs related to the family. This is why the Bo Jackson thing kind of reminded me of this. And it's another thing, people are going out of their way to help, and the more the merrier in terms of helping out with this. They're going to have great auction items if you want to check those out. And guys, Ben's connected.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have great stuff there from the Cardinals, the Blues, some local restaurants that are all chipping in to help out with this cause. So again, it's 32auctions.com/Jarvis. And if you want to just pop into the St. Charles Hot Shots tomorrow between 2 and 6, you can participate in person there as well. So speaking of somebody doing something good, our buddy Ben Boyd doing something good there.
Absolutely.
We're going to hang out with our friend Dave Glover. First time in.
Woohoo!
We got a short show today. We figure we got to squeeze 15 more minutes out of him since he gets to leave early. We'll talk to Dave next on KMOX.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great! Because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. No matter how many times you try to quit, this hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminar Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Summer means hotter days, so avoid using heat-generating appliances like stoves and dishwashers during the day. Use them during off-peak hours in the evening, both to minimize the effects of heat and to save on electric costs. Late evening and early morning is also the best time to water plants and lawns, as the water is less prone to evaporation. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at Zero Res. Well, if you have been waiting for the lowest price of the year, this is it so far. Zero Res is offering a 3-room DGS special starting at just $119. That's 3 rooms pre-treated in Zero Res Clean, which is a 100% guaranteed clean at just $119. Also, $75 off your air duct cleaning. When it comes to your home, stains in your carpets, your upholstery can really put a damper on things. With tough stains, it can be easy to think that you need harsh chemicals or detergents to get them out. But I've learned that these detergents always leave behind a soapy residue, which ends up attracting more dirt to the areas. This is why we're called Zero Res, zero residue. That's why I only trust Zero Res to get out tough stains and provide my regular carpet cleaning, which they have within the past couple weeks. Call 314-474-2020 or go to ZeroResSTL.com to book your appointment. That's 314-474-2020.
How long does it take an adult to learn to swim? It typically takes 20 hours of set lessons. What are you waiting for? Go to swimonfoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Kevin, Amy, and Chris now.
Best friends together.
Dave Glover at 2 on KMOX.
It's good to have our good buddy Dave Glover hanging out for a few minutes at the end of the show before his show. Hello, Dave. It's weird, by the way, sitting in the big chair that you're normally
It is
occupying.
weird. I don't
I'm
like
looking down at you. It's kind of fun. I kind of like this.
Yeah.
I like this dynamic.
My, how the turntable.
I feel like I'm fulfilling someone's fetish here or something.
You wondered why we asked. Finally, I'm in control.
It's probably the guy in the big chair. That's whose fetish you're fulfilling.
Finally in control.
Well, it's not mine. Although it's not completely unpleasant. Big chair comes with a lot of responsibilities, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot who I'm talking
Lots
to.
of words.
Kevin Wheeler fears no man.
You guys think I'm an alien?
Yeah, well, you mean you're like, I have no fear, I have no anxiety.
No irrational fears.
Yeah, you always say that.
Yeah. Why would I be afraid of, like, I don't know,
What could happen?
talking?
Okay, speaking of fear, Glover told the craziest story during the commercial break. Can you please share that so that everyone who's going on vacation can have something to worry about?
Yeah, and by the way, if you're going on a plane here anytime soon.
No, I've told it a million times on my show. When I was a lawyer, I lived in Alaska for a couple of years working on the Exxon Valdez case, and I would fly back and forth. And one of the times when we took off from Alaska, we got about a minute, 2 minutes, like probably 5,000-6,000 feet when it feels like the plane isn't going fast enough.
Right.
And I was in first class because they were paying for it because it was a class action suit. And the flight attendant sitting across from me kind of went ashen white. And then the pilot said something like brace, brace, brace. And we started going down into the right. And I was in the very front seat window and I'm just watching the ground come up at me. And my paralegal is next to me and she grabbed my hand. She's freaking out and people are screaming. And I could have been screaming too. I forget. But then the strangest thing about it, the whole moral of the story is I got calmer than I've ever been in my life. Like, you guys know me, I'm never calm. And I was completely calm, completely serene, thinking things like, wow, you're 26, you never had kids, your parents are going to hear about this and they're going to be really sad. And wow, you really do die. And this is just my lot in life. I hope it doesn't hurt too much when these trees come through the window, but completely calm. Which, like Amy said on the break, like people will have their hand cut off and not feel any pain until they get to the hospital and settle down.
Yeah.
So I guess I just went into shock. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine being in that situation. I think the weirdest thing that happened on a plane is we were on our way to Denver, and all the paneling above you, where I guess it would be the oxygen tanks would come down.
The mask,
It was
the
like-
tank won't come down. That'd be pretty harsh.
Sorry, that would hurt. The oxygen mask would come down. It was that panel along with the door of the overhead compartments together fell, and it started to like hit me on the head because it started ripping off. So I held it up with both of my hands, and we flagged down the flight attendant and the people around us like, oh my gosh, the plane's falling apart. I kid you not. She said, can you just hold that in place? We're going to land in about 20 minutes anyway. So I sat there with my arms up, like holding the compartment up until we landed.
That's a pretty big ask.
I thought
20
so.
minutes of holding
I
something
didn't
in
realize
place?
what a one-upper Amy was.
That doesn't one up your story,
I
though.
basically held the plane together. I saved us all.
It sounds like me when I was 11. And then I fell out, but was able to catch up to the plane.
No. And then, the pilots, they stood and saluted me when I got off the plane.
Gave you your wings.
They gave me wings and a hat.
That was when Obama gave you the Medal of Freedom, right?
It was like, I can't remember which time that he gave me the Medal of Freedom, but no, that was it. Speaking of traveling, I kind of mentioned this yesterday.
Transition.
Glover. Yeah. So I flew to Nashville, and here's what I'm thinking. I actually need some new luggage. I really want new luggage. And then I thought, oh my gosh, all those people won that new luggage on The Price is Right. And that's when I knew I was old. You can tell how old you are by how excited you are by the boring gifts on The Price is Right. When you're a kid, you're like, ugh, luggage. Why would you even go on the show to win luggage? Now, I'd be thrilled to death.
That's when you knew you were old.
That was my response.
Yeah.
It wasn't that you enjoy stories about presidents from 1810.
I've always liked those, though.
You were born 40 wearing gingham.
Ask her favorite book.
Yeah.
What is it?
David Copperfield, not the magician.
I asked, you mean that guy's still alive?
Yeah.
The
Charles
autobiography.
Dickens.
His autobiography from 170 years ago.
Yeah.
He's a vampire.
Yeah.
You guys said I was a vampire.
Why do we say that? I
I
forgot.
don't remember. Why did you say I was a vampire?
I didn't say
Because
it.
I don't age.
Oh, yeah. Don't you guys think, I feel like I could put him in a hoodie and like a long pair of board shorts and pretend to be his dad.
So my weekend gear.
Talk about
and take him to Mizzou on opening day and
Yes.
walk in and go okay, son, stay away from the girls.
Just gotta move.
And for 5 minutes, I think he'd be accepted.
I just have to-
Eventually, the 18-year-olds would go no, this guy has got an aging disease. But I mean, you see what I'm saying, though.
He's lived a hard life.
100% agree, Glover.
Yeah.
No,
I would have to shave though. That's just it. Because the only gray I have is on the beard. So if I'd shaved, you wouldn't see that.
no, but Glover's totally right. I thought that you were younger than I am.
I mean, not chronologically, but realistically, I am. Legit.
Emotionally.
In every way.
Oh, yeah. No, but I thought you were if someone said, how old is Wheels? I'd be I don't know, 36, 37.
Yeah, you're sort of like a cartoon character came to life.
Yeah, I would agree with that. My
Right.
wife thinks so.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the deal though. You don't, everybody else.
Plus,
around.
in my mind, I know your mom, your dad, your sister. To me, they're all you. It's just your mom has a gray wig and your sister has a longer red-haired wig, but they're all Wheeler. It's like when Fred Munster would be his female cousin, It's that's how I picture your family.
When Fred Munster, I don't actually remember that at
You
all.
don't?
No.
You didn't see the Munsters?
But the thing is, I did watch the Munsters. This is when we watched it. My mom and I would go to National. Remember that grocery chain?
Yeah.
We'd go to National and make trail mix and then come home and watch the Munsters.
Okay.
And you just started feeling old when you wanted luggage.
Last transition as it's on the Munsters thing because it's something I've never seen before. Went to the Rob Zombie show the other day.
Yeah.
At the end of the normal set, right? So this is before the encore because we know how this stupid thing works in music.
Yeah.
You got to leave and
We
turn
all
off
pretend.
we all pretend we're done. Good night, St. Louis. And then, of course, we're coming right back. But in that interim, they played a trailer for Rob Zombie's movie, The New Munsters.
Yeah.
I have never seen a trailer, an advertisement, or something
That's
placed
weird.
before the encore of a show.
That feels a bit manipulative.
Would you? I was kind of floored, to be honest with you.
It's
And
like having an ad for Pringles or something.
Yeah, and all of us were I was there with Ben Boyd. We were leaving already because we're like, we're going to beat the traffic.
Yeah.
I've seen Dragula performed live many times. That's going to be the last song.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's going to be the last song. So we're walking out, but I'm like, this is playing, and people are like looking at each other like,
Can I tell you,
Really?
I hate encores. Like, I just find them so manipulative. It's like when every time I just want everyone to leave just once. So like the band comes back out and like the janitors are sweeping up. They're like, what?
Where'd everybody go?
It's just, it's such a farce.
Yeah. It is an odd tradition.
It is.
I get that it probably started organically.
Sure.
A band was like, we're done. Good night. And they were like, the crowd was so loud, like, let's do some more for
Yeah,
them. Let's
we're
give them a
going
little
back
more.
out,
Yeah.
boys.
But now it's like, we're just going to pretend.
Yes.
And we all go along with
And
it.
there's something non-consensual about it. It's like you're not going crazy enough. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
well, please come back. Please come back.
Scream louder.
Well, it is.
Meanwhile, I'm already on Highway 70 halfway home.
Yeah, because
I'm
if
at
you-
Burger King.
especially if you've seen a band before.
Yeah.
Although it has to be like the all-time favorite for you to stay, right?
To me, the encore starts at about the 6th song of the night.
Everything after that's bonus. But there is that. We'll play, but you have to beg for it. Ask us nicely.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Scream louder, please.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, we'll give you the you're going to be
Back
the
in the big
encore.
chair.
We're going to scream for you. So
Thank you.
have fun, bud. Thanks for stopping by. DGS is next. Have a great weekend.
With Wholesale Formula Seminars, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly work